joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimping and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, this that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and to spark up your hoeing and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dough. Over 120 in the sun for fun. They mash for hours, hooker baths, not showers. Bright and early, down and dirty for the cash and power. They gotta get the cash, the towers, and reach it all to a pimp. In my position, I'm all but exempt. These bras not wimps, I'm like them renegade bitches. BFFs with tricks but never getting paid riches. Grenade bitches, they dynamite, blowing up on the pimpin' and missing when the time is right. But when they life gets strife, they see pimpin' shining bright, but they action is life without. Bitch, one strike you out. Can't stop, won't stop. Hoppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Hoppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Hoppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Hoppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. See, that's the difference, nigga. The pimpin' mashing for these riches, nigga. Nothing like you master magician, niggas. Smoking mirrors with your game, hella extras to reflect the opposite appearance of a lame. Bitches coming from y'all, I can't rock with those. Tender-footed and rooted in them doctor shows. Soft shoe rituals, minute residuals. Papers on life support, your loots and critical. Something I learned about when running my earned route and working with turnouts is murdering burnouts. Cause knocking one of you niggas for a scarred bitch, that's knocking one of you niggas for some garbage. I'm heartless regardless, empty with sympathy, but banked up to the max with pimpathy. No remedy for me, I'm like this. My life is vice grip, synced in permanent ink. You can't rewrite this. My blood type is P positive, beautifully deposited with a lot of it. I'm popping this shit, and when I pop it so hard I make a trapping ass bad bitch wanna hoe hard. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Come on, pimpin', man, pop that shit. Show these sucker niggas they can't stop that shit. Let these hookers know if they wanna cop that shit. Treat the bag like it's hot, bitch, and drop that shit. And to you hoes, if you ever took a loss, bitch, show these bitches how to bounce back like a boss, bitch. Let them know that the best way to floss, bitch, is reach that paper to some pimpin' hoe and toss it. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. All right. Excuse my pimping for the delay, but we here. Y'all already know what to do, man. Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Hit that like button. And of course, you know my first order of business, I got to hydrate my game. I got to put some love in my body. While we get ready to chop this game. Yeah, man. I know y'all be tripped out by the shit you see just like I be tripped out by the shit I see. And it's a lot of tripped out shit to be taking place on this internet, man. As we all know. It could be a beautiful place and an ugly place all at the same time. You dig? So I seen this post that made me want to talk about this today. And y'all gonna trip just like I tripped when you see this shit. Hold on. Oh, wait, I think I might. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Man, what the fuck is this? All right, hold on. Damn, what the fuck? It's always some shit, man. Extra shit going on. Like, what the fuck? Shit is stupid as hell. Man, Instagram is pissing me off. They really pissing me off right now. Instagram is on some straight bullshit, at least on the browser anyway. Let me see, man. Hold on. Try this. Okay. Good. We are good. Let me just go here real quick. Bam. So I can show y'all this right quick. There's actually a few of them I want to show you. Hold on. These people be having the audacity, man. What's wrong with these people with this audacity they be having, man? What's going on? A lot of it got to do with these guys, though. I blame a lot of you guys for this shit that we about to see. A lot of you guys is to blame for this shit. A lot of y'all, man, to blame for this shit that we about to see. This bullshit. Hydrate my game, man. Cheers to the game. Hold on, man. This shit. Cause I don't like how it switches to that other camera. Okay, here we go. Bam. Bam. Okay, there we go. I don't know why I was doing that before. But yeah, man, look at this shit though, man. Now this is the epitome of champagne taste with Kool-Aid money. Cardi B wishes Black China Mama money. This the epitome of got Cardi B wishes Black China Mama money. This is her right here. Hold on, let's watch this shit real quick, man. Hold on.
For my P. The first thing, you're going to be running all of my ADs, making sure that I'm always at the top, making sure that I'm always available, XYZ.
Hold on, man. Now, for those of y'all who didn't catch, hold on, we're going to start it over because y'all need to hear this shit. Hold on. Here we go.
If I ever decide to choose up, these will be my requirements for my P. The first thing, you're going to be running all of my ADs, making sure that I'm always at the top, making sure that I'm always available, XYZ. You're also going to make sure that I have everything that I need to work, which is condoms, lube, wipes, lingerie, everything that I need to be able to work. You will be getting me a photo shoot done, like, yeah. You will keep up with my maintenance, such as hair, lashes, nails, and feet. Period. If something is wrong, or if I need help, you better be there within a fucking flash, or your ass is fired. You should take me to all of my outcalls. It's only right. And last but not least, I should not be your only hope. Okay?
Nah, you shouldn't be nobody's only hope, because if they gotta depend on you to do anything, they're gonna starve. You obviously ain't gonna starve though. We see you ain't missing not a nan meal. Nan meal is getting missed with this bitch, but there's so many things problematic with this here. Hold on, let's get back to the beginning of it. So many problems with this shit here.
If I ever...
First of all, she talking about if she ever choose a P. If she ever decides to choose a P. These are the requirements that he gonna have to meet in order to mess with her. But you notice that she didn't list any requirements of her that'll be required of her. What's gonna be required of you? Because see, we can't even get to what you want before you get to what the pimpin' want. And before you even open your mouth to say anything, a pimp has so many problems with what's going on. Before you can even get a word out, pimp already got problems. You're already disqualified before you open your mouth. Your presentation, you look inflamed. You eating a bunch of bullshit. It's bad enough that the food that's available in the grocery stores, even if you try to eat healthy, even if you endeavor to eat organic or healthy or what have you, it's still a lot of problems with the food. The food is still, created and manufactured and all that shit in order to make you sick. You skipping past the semi-healthy options and going straight to the bullshit options, right? So, like I said, before you even open your mouth, there's so many problems that a pimp have, because it's obvious to somebody like myself that you don't have a lick of discipline at all. And you got all these requirements and you probably don't have nothing going on. You probably smoke way more weed than you can afford. We can't even get to this pimping that you can't afford until we address this weed that you can't afford. Because I know you smoking all the weed you can't afford. So we can't even get to this pimping that you can't afford. You eating all the food you can't afford. It's just a lot of shit you can't afford that you want. Now you can get the food that you can't afford, because even though you can't afford it, it ain't nothing crazy to acquire. Same thing with the weed. And you probably don't even have $500 to your name. I just don't see it. Any little change that you do have goes to the weed, them nails, them eyelashes, them nappy ass braids, that sloss and swap meet outfit you got on. That's where your little change is going to. So we can't even get to the pimping before we address all the problems that you have with yourself. We can't even get to what you want until we address what the pimping want. And Pimpin' don't even see nothing that he won't. But that's just me, right? Now, you got all different flavors of pimping, as we've discussed before in the 31 flavors of pimping, right? But within these different flavors of pimping, it might be somebody that likes her. It might be somebody that's willing to take her on and accept her and things like that. But even if a pimp is willing to entertain you, it's still so many problems. It's still so many issues. And one might ask themselves, how did a chick like this get to this point? How did a chick like this that more than likely has nothing going on get to a point where she has requirements for a pimp? Like, before she chooses a pimp, she got requirements. That's like somebody that's sleeping on their mama's couch or sleeping in their car or something like that, struggling, going to Walmart and saying, before I choose Walmart, I got some requirements of Walmart. Walmart, before you hire me, you're going to have to meet these requirements. My lunch break is at this time. You know, I know everybody else take their lunch break at whatever time they take it, but I want my lunch break to be at this time. And my lunch break has to be 90 minutes. I know everybody else's lunch break is probably 30 minutes to an hour, but mine has to be 90 minutes. You know, I need to be able to take off whenever I want to take off and come to work whenever I want to come to work. I need to be able to make my own schedule, you know, and y'all still need to pay me what I want to be paid. I know that y'all start y'all, you know, employees off at such and such wage, but you need to start me off at, like, you see how ridiculous that sounds just for somebody that's trying to get a job at Walmart. We're not even talking about the pimping, but that's how she sounds coming to the pimping. The way you would imagine how crazy that would look for somebody to approach Walmart like that, that's the same way pimping is looking at her. Because Walmart is the establishment. Walmart is already in motion. Walmart, you know, got things in order, right? It's a moving train that you trying to get on and move along with. Pimping is the same way. Pimping is a moving train that you trying to get on with and get where you want to go. But all these requirements and shit like that, this shit is just crazy, man. But look at this other shit though. It's a few videos like this. Look at this shit. Same chick.
The chain messages, y'all. The chain messages from Peas. We all get them. We all know about them. The same that y'all say the same shit and text everybody ad number the same fucking thing. We're not never going to choose up. If I was looking for a P, I'll go get one. Other than that, I don't need to work for you, babe. Stop it.
And see, that's part of the problem right there. Because, you know, you got guys getting at chicks like this that they ain't got no business getting at. You know, I know some dudes probably don't be paying attention. They just be shooting in the dark. They see an ad, they take the number down and text it and things like that. But I don't know, man. Like I said before, I view the game like a professional league. I view the game like the NBA or the NFL. That's how I look at the game. And the NFL ain't going into the gutter, you know, just trying to recruit and draft any old body with a ball in their hand and say that they could ball, right? They're not doing that. The NFL and the NBA, they're not doing that. They're not going, you know, and just trying to shoot or trying to, you know, recruit any and everybody. They want the best. The NBA wants the best. The NFL wants the best. And notice what I'm saying about the NFL and the NBA, right? Now, you don't have just any bum-ass player with a ball in their hand going to the NBA and saying, look, if y'all want me to play, man, y'all going to have to meet these requirements. No. It's actually quite the opposite. See, because the NBA and the NFL has a certain reputation with each one of them, the people that play that sport, they do their best to perform at their best so that they can stand out and be accepted by this league. Right? So every kid that's playing basketball in high school and college, they have this outlook on the NBA like, okay, this is the top. This is as good as it gets. This is where the best perform. This is the highest level. So if I want to make it to the highest level, I have to be the best that I can possibly be. I have to stand out. I got to be better than everybody around me and everybody who ain't around me. This is the mindset, like, young kids who aspire to make it to the NBA. It's thousands of them all around the country. All around America, it's thousands of kids right now who have dreams of making it to the NBA. And best believe they practicing their ass off even when they don't have to. They taking 1,000+ shots a day. They in the gym. They eating right. They disciplined. They go to sleep when they supposed to go to sleep. They get the right amount of sleep that they supposed to get. They eat when they supposed to eat. They own their shit because they want to make it to the NBA. Now, of course, you have some basketball players around the country who, they might not have aspirations of making it to the NBA. And those players are not going to be as disciplined. They're not going to be putting forth as much effort. They're not going to be as on point. And as a result of that, their performance is not going to reflect that. See, the ones that want to make it to the NBA, their performance is going to reflect that. But even for the ones who don't want to make it to the NBA, who don't have those type of dreams, that might still play basketball, they might only think to themselves that they don't want to get to the NBA because they might think in their mind they're not good enough. But they still believe that the NBA is as good as it gets. That's the highest level, right? My point is, everybody that plays basketball, whether they dream of going to the NBA or not, they all respect the NBA. They all respect the NBA as the highest level of the game. Right? And the establishment of the NBA and the different teams within the NBA present themselves as the best. They present themselves as something that you have to go out of your way and go above and beyond to be accepted into. This is how they view themselves, right? Each team on the NBA and everybody that's a part of those teams and, the commission of the NBA and everybody that's a part of it, everybody that plays any kind of role in the NBA, they all understand that this is the highest level, so we have to present ourselves as such. Right? So when you get back to the game, the lifestyle of pimping and hoeing, this is how the pimper should look at himself. Right? And that's just like back to the NBA, right, for a second. If a player is out of shape or overweight, hey, man, the NBA ain't going to be checking for you. And see, when it comes to this game, people just lower their standards and think that everybody should just be able to be a part of the game. Whoever just want to get some money, they could just get in the game and they should be accepted and everything should be cool. But again, back to if we're comparing the game to the NBA, hey, if you 400 pounds, the NBA is not taking you. You're not gonna catch nobody you're not gonna catch nobody in the NBA with a BMI of 40 or above. 40, that's your body mass index. That's what your BMI is. Your BMI, body mass index, is basically a measurement of your height, along with your weight. So, somebody who's more massive, that's like a 40. You know what I mean? Even a 35 is kind of big for a BMI. Now, doctors say that anybody with a BMI above 30 is considered obese. But, you know, when y'all seen me with all my muscle and shit like that when I was bigger, I was about a 30, 31, sometimes even a 32 BMI. And I've, as far as I'm concerned, I've never been obese in my life. But the bottom line is, you know, if your BMI is like that chick that's talking this shit on this video, I guarantee you her BMI is at least 40. Her BMI got to be at least 40. I could be wrong. It may be 30. I don't see 35 though. I don't see 35. I see her BMI as being 40 or greater. And, you know, like I said, the NBA, they not taking nobody with a 40 BMI. Somebody that's, you know, at that point you morbidly obese. The NBA ain't taking that. You know, now the game is a little different than the NBA because your weight doesn't always necessarily have to do with your performance like the NBA, right? But again, if we want the best, because you know some big girls do their thing and they can get it, and you know I done seen some big bitches that was checking it, right? But that same big bitch that was checking it, imagine what she would have been checking if she lost weight and got down to a normal size. Because as much as she may be checking it while she's big, she is not at her best. And that's what it's about. If you're going to be in this game, you should want to be at your best. You should want to be the best that you could possibly be. And see, when you have that mindset, then you think about having the best people in your life that you could possibly have in your life. Because when you're thinking about being the best that you could possibly be, you understand that a team effort is a part of that. Because any legendary person that you can think of that did anything legendary or any legendary event that you could think of, a team was more than likely a part of it. You know, it ain't really too many legendary people that do legendary things solely by themselves. You know, they might be the face of that legendary thing. They might be the spokesperson of that legendary thing or legendary movement or what have you. But trust and believe there's a team behind it. It's a team effort that goes into it. And, you know, back to this big bitch right here. I can just, you know, if you listen to her language is me, my, I. Everything she talking about is me, my, I. I want this for me. This is mine. I need this. I want that. Everything is me, my, I. She don't have us in her vocabulary. She doesn't have our in her vocabulary. She doesn't have we in her vocabulary. She doesn't have us in her vocabulary. You know, and this is the type of stuff that, you know, pimps entertain. That's why, you know, she feels comfortable and confident to come with a list of requirements for whatever pimp she might be thinking about choosing. Why? Because you had these dudes on Backpage texting her sweet nothings and all this shit. And what they don't understand is every sweet nothing that you text this bitch off, not Backpage, but Mega Personals or whatever she posting on. But anytime you send her something like that, it's a deposit into her ego. So now her ego is bigger than, you know, her appetite with her ego is bigger than her appetite with food. And we see that she got quite the appetite with food. Yeah, man. See, people just be saying anything, man. Get money, little bro. Says, I heard big bitches pay what they weigh. See, people just say things that sound good, and you got some big bitches that do pay what they weigh. But, man, a lot of bitches, the majority of bitches right now in the game ain't paying what they weigh. Even small bitches ain't paying what they weigh. And, I'm putting a lot of emphasis on her weight and things like that. But it's a lot more issues to her and what she got going on than just her weight. Because there's small bitches that feel the same way that she feels and ain't got no business feeling that way. But I ain't said it in a while, but some of y'all have heard me use the term "don't feed the animals," and that's exactly what this is. This is a classic case of somebody feeding the animals shit that they shouldn't be feeding them. A pimp shouldn't be feeding the animals at all. But these dudes not only are feeding the animals, but they feeding them shit that they ain't got no business feeding them. And this is why, because see, for a pimp to get at a chick, man, she should understand that, she got to have certain things going on in order for a pimp to get at her. Like me, I'm just not getting at any and everybody. I don't get in bitches' DMs. I have texted bitches off of ads before, but I ain't did that in a very long time. Very long time. But I don't knock nobody for how they get at bitches. If you get in a bitch DM, if you get at a bitch off an ad, then more power to you. I don't knock that. But if I was to get in a bitch's DM, she gonna have to have certain things, in order for me to even get in her DM. See, that's the beautiful thing about Instagram is that you can look at somebody and learn so much about that somebody just off of their Instagram and determine whether or not this individual is worth your time to even get at or entertain or what have you. But, pimping got to start, it's a lot of dudes that call themselves the pimping and say that they the prize, but don't even conduct themselves like a prize conducts themselves. A lot of cats don't know how to pose to be chosen. Because if you pose to be chosen, accordingly, then you're gonna have different bitches getting at you, and then from there you'll be able to determine which ones you really want to have, and then go from there. But this shit is crazy, man. Then it was another one on here too. I don't even know where she at. Oh, here she go. Listen to this shit.
Why the fuck do you think I'm about to just choose you overnight if nothing happens overnight? I don't know nothing about you. These days, you need to know, have niggas been to jail? Can I see your paperwork? Do you have kids? How many baby mamas do you have? Are you on the run? Can you get a passport? Can you travel? Can you fly? What have you ever done for a bitch? What has a bitch ever done for you? What are your expectations? What are your expectations of me?
Now, the only thing that I can respect in what she said is the what are your expectations of me part. And to be honest with you, that's where this particular bitch, that's where she gonna get her feelings hurt.
Why the fuck do you think I'm about to just choose you over?
Yeah, the last thing that she said, what are your expectations of me? She gonna get her feelings hurt fucking with me. She don't even want to know what my expectations of her are. But let's just say hypothetically that this particular chick right here asked me what my expectations of her are. Okay, first of all, you're gonna have to do away with a lot of bad habits that I'm sure you have. If you don't smoke cigarettes, you either smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, smoke weed, or do other drugs, more hardcore drugs, and you're not gonna be able to do none of that. In the food that you like to eat, you're gonna have to change that all the way up. You're gonna have to change your diet all the way up. The shit you put in your mouth is gonna have to be, a night and day change. You're gonna have to get yourself a membership at the gym, and you're gonna have to hire a personal trainer, and you're gonna have to dedicate yourself to the gym. Then you're gonna have to study the game, because by you talking the way that you talking, you obviously don't have a clue about the game. And fortunately for you, bitch, Freeze got an extensive library of content on social media going back as far as 10 years, if not further back, that you can study about the game and learn as much as you need to learn about the game. So you're gonna have to go through my anthology, bitch. You're gonna have to study my library of game and get a better understanding of this game before you can even be accepted by a pimp. These are the requirements. You're gonna have to lose. I can't even see your body, but just looking at your face, I'm guessing you probably need to lose at least 100 pounds. At least 100 pounds. You're gonna have to drop 100 for sure. These are the requirements. You asked me what my requirements of you are. That I'm telling you what they are. You have to drop 100 pounds for sure. And in order for you to drop this 100 pounds, I'll give you a little bit of free game. 1 meal a day. Don't eat that meal within 3 hours of going to sleep. And you're going to have to walk 10,000 steps a day. That's your best bet on dropping that 100 pounds. It's going to fall off. It's going to melt off you like butter if you do what I just said. 1 meal a day. Don't eat that one meal within 3 hours of going to sleep and walk 10,000 steps a day. That's going to be your best bet. And when I say 1 meal a day, that means you're only eating one time a day. You can't snack on nothing. Even if it's a healthy snack, you can't snack on an apple. You can't snack on a banana. You can't snack on nothing. You're eating 1 meal a day and you're eating one time a day. That's your best bet. Now, see, that's a pimp that's presenting himself like the NBA. And see, a ball player that's serious about going to the NBA, if a recruiter came to a college or a high school basketball player and said, "Look, we want you. We want to draft you onto our team, but in order for you to make it on this team, you're going to have to lose 50 pounds or 30 pounds or 20 pounds or whatever. You're going to have to lose weight, and you're going to have to do this and do this and do that and do that." If the NBA came to a basketball player and told that basketball player these things, best believe if that basketball player really want to make it into the league, they're going to do all of that and then some. Because they serious about making it into the league. Like, damn, that's all I got to do. If I do these things, y'all going to come get me for sure? Bet. That's how the pimping supposed to be, man. For real. But how many guys is carrying they pimping like that? How many guys view the game like that? Not too many. And see, this is why I get on here and I talk so much about health when it comes to the game, because we normalize a lot of shit that shouldn't be normal. Like, a lot of us normalize the idea of, in the game, you have to be on something. A lot of us normalize, just being subpar in a lot of different ways. Being subpar has been so normalized in the game, and it ain't cool. Right? That's why I'm like that corner of the game that's not normal. Yeah, when you come over here to this corner of the game, you're gonna see something that's not normal. You're gonna hear something that's not normal. And it's never gonna be okay with me for a motherfucker to just do a bunch of shit that makes them subpar. And I'm gonna promote that, I'm gonna glorify that, or I'm gonna make that seem like it's acceptable. Like being a dope fiend ain't acceptable. I know it's normal in the game. I say as much as 95% of the game participants are some kind of addict. I'm probably being too nice with the 95%, but just to give the benefit of the doubt, I'll say 95%. But I believe 95% of people in the game are some kind of addict. If you ain't addicted to bullshit food, you're addicted to marijuana or alcohol or pills or powder or, some kind of opioid, something. You're addicted to something that's holding you back from being your best. And I'm never going to normalize that shit. I'm never going to make it seem like that's cool and that's acceptable in the game. But most people in the game are addicted to something. I say at least 95%. And I just know I'm being too nice with the 95%. I know I am. But I got to get a benefit of the doubt. But yeah, for sure that. But this type of stuff, again, back to the NBA or even the military. This type of stuff ain't even normalized in the military or in the square world, the corporate world. This stuff ain't even normalized in those lifestyles. It's just something that's just normalized in the game. To be subpar is just cool in the game. And it shouldn't be. It's terrible. But yeah, man, and see, like I said, these dudes are supposed to be the pimping. They don't view themselves the way they're supposed to view themselves, and they don't view the game the way they're supposed to view the game. That's why so many subpar, weak-ass females in the game. Because of so many subpar, weak-ass dudes in the game. For real, for real. The game is flooded with them. But let's talk about how you're supposed to view yourself as the pimpin', man. And not just how you're supposed to view yourself, but because of how you view yourself, you carry yourself this way as well. The pimping is mind, body, and soul. So if you understand the pimping is mind, body, and soul, then you should want to be optimal. You should want to be at your best in those three realms, mind, body, and soul. You should want to be the best when it comes to all three of those. We talking about the mind. What is it going to take for your mind to be at its best? What do you need to be doing with your mind for your mind to be at its best? As the pimpin'. You need to be feeding your mind the right shit. You need to be abstaining from the wrong shit with your mind. You don't need to allow your mind to be a sponge for junk food. You don't need to allow your mind to be a garbage can for bullshit. You need to be feeding your mind the right shit. you also need to be exercising your mind the right way in order for your mind to be at its best. And, you know, you need to be feeding your mind the right shit when it comes to this game. Because just like with the body, right? Depending on what kind of shape you want your body to be in, you're going to feed it things according to that. If you want to be more slim and lean, you're going to feed your body things that are in line with you, with your body being that way. If you want to be more bigger and on swole, you're going to feed your body things in accordance to that. So on the same token, you don't want to just feed your mind, you know, certain things and not other things. You know, you want to feed your mind things that are in line with the game. That's going to make your mind strong when it comes to this game. Because there's people that have strong minds and highly intelligent minds and highly functional minds that don't have anything that has to do with the game. You know, you got doctors and lawyers and scientists and, you know, all different types of people whose minds are beautiful, but they mind don't have nothing to do with the game though. So if you want your mind to be beautiful and game oriented at the same time, then you got to feed your mind the right shit that has to do with this game. As a pimp, pimping his mind, body, and soul. So on the same token with the mind, with your soul, you want to feed your soul the right shit. Now, feeding your soul the right shit has a lot to do with the company that you keep. Because a lot of y'all feed your soul the wrong shit by being around bullshit people. Believe me, I know I've done the same thing. I've been around bullshit people and fed my soul the wrong shit plenty of times. So, you know, a part of your soul being at its best, you got to refrain from a lot of people, places, and things. And you got to feed your soul the right people, places, and things. It's imperative to stay sucker free in order for your soul to be right. You got to stay sucker free. And it's not always the easiest thing to stay sucker free, because some suckers come off as cool. Some suckers are funny. You know, some suckers are easy to talk to. Some suckers are good listeners and a good, you know, listening ear to, you know, express yourself to and things like that. But, you know, they still going to have some sucker ways that's going to reveal themselves one way or another if they really a sucker. You got to stay sucker free. And you got to keep the right company, man. You know, those types of pimp partners that just, you know, hit you up just to check on you without asking you for something. You know, I remember one time, man, it was a point in time where I was a resourceful guy. I've always been resourceful, but it was a point in time where I was like really resourceful to a lot of people in the game. So I had a lot of people just calling me just to ask me for shit. Right? And I had stopped answering my phone for a lot of people. And I told myself, I was like, you know what? I'm only going to answer my phone for the people that just call me to see how I'm doing, to call me and check on me and shit like that. And I was only able to count on one hand, maybe with a finger or two left over, how many people actually did that. And it was only those people that I was answering the phone for. It was so many people that was calling me just to ask me for something. And, you know, I had to narrow that shit down and just only talk to the people that, you know, showed some concern for me. And not only showed some concern for me, but, you know, chop game with me. Sharpen my pimping with me just like I'm a sharpen they pimping. Just, you know, kick some good shit. Have some good conversation. I'm not coming off as needy to you. You not coming off as needy to me. We just chopping game. and exchanging good energy with each other. This is what you got to do for your soul, in order for the soul of your pimping to be on point. You got to feed yourself the right company. And like I said, pimping is mind, body, and soul. The body part, man. This is probably the toughest for most people in the game. They all tough. Mind, body, and soul is all tough for a lot of people in the game to get on point. But that body, man, that's something that a whole lot of people in the game struggle with. That body. Listen, man. Hold on. Man, y'all tripping, man. It's 175 of y'all up in here, but only 110 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Shame on you, man. Come on, man. Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Hit that like button. Hydrate my game right quick. The body, oh, the body. Yeah, man, see, back to the mind, when you feeding your mind the right shit, when you feeding your mind game-oriented content, and you studying things, and you feeding your mind and educating your mind, that's all forms of love. You putting love in your mind. When you keep the right type of company around you, the type of people that's going to feed and nourish your soul, and not just try to take from your soul all the time, but they feeding and nourishing the soul of your pimping. Yeah, that's love. You put love into your soul. Now, when it comes to the body, this is one of the greatest forms of love right here. This shit right here, man. This shit gonna love you even when you don't love it. That love juice. Some of y'all call it water or H2O, you dig, but I call it that love juice, man. Yeah, you go ahead and put some love in your body, man. That's one of the greatest ways to love your body. And, when it comes to food, that's another form of love. Putting things in your body that are nourishing, putting, living foods in your body, foods that have one ingredient, foods that don't have 20 different ingredients. And within some of those ingredients, like this one ingredient, when you break that shit down, it's another 5 ingredients and all that type of shit. Nah, foods that got one ingredient. That's love. That's putting love in your body. You want to put love in your body so that your body could be at its best. Now, a lot of people, man, today, a lot of y'all put a whole bunch of hate in your body. But the shit feels so good when you're doing it that it don't even feel hateful. You don't even feel like you hating on your own body, but you are, though. See, a lot of the hatred that you put into your body, it tastes good, it feels good, it smells good, the thought of it is good, it looks good. Everything about it. But when you really think about what it's actually doing to your body, once that sensation goes away, once the taste, the feel, the smell, the look, once all that shit goes away, what's it doing to your body now? Are you making deposits into your body so that you end up with diabetes? Are you making deposits into your body so that you end up with hypertension, high blood pressure? Are you making deposits into your body so that you end up with autoimmune diseases? Are you making deposits into your body so that you end up with Alzheimer's or dementia? Are you making deposits into your body so that you end up with, failed organs? your liver and your kidneys and things like that. The list goes on. A lot of y'all just today made a whole bunch of deposits into your body to secure yourself having all kind of illnesses, to secure yourself being sick as a motherfucker. And it tastes good and it feel good and all that shit right now, but man, when you start having them problems, boy. See, this is a time, man, where, you know, if you sitting somewhere by yourself and you listening to this game by yourself, man, this is a time where you can really just sit back and be honest with yourself. You know, it's just you and this game chopping it up right now, man. Can't nobody see you. Ain't nobody gonna judge you. This game ain't gonna judge you. This game ain't gonna criticize you. This game ain't gonna put you down and make you feel bad about the decisions that you make. This game is here to build you up. This game is here to be the bridge between you and your greatest self. So just be honest with yourself, man. You can't cross that bridge to your greatest self if you're not honest with yourself. So be real, man. Be honest with yourself. And see, some of y'all, if you be honest with yourself, man, especially if you're a little bit older, if you're in your 30s and your 40s and shit like that, this is when some of these problems start coming into play, man, where, you know, your manhood don't stand up the way it used to. And you know to yourself that it has everything to do with the things that you put in your mouth. Because of what tastes so good that you can't resist putting it in your mouth, your manhood don't stand up the way it's supposed to, the way it used to, the way you want it to. And you know to yourself that if you stop putting this bullshit in your mouth, you can restore your body and get it back to the point where you're standing up with no problem. You know that. It's time to wake up, man. It's time to get on the ball and start doing what you need to do. And see, not only does your manhood not stand up the way it's supposed to because of the things that you put in your mouth, but what's making your manhood not stand up the way it's supposed to? How are you being affected in a way that you got to that point? A lot of y'all got type 2 diabetes, and you don't have to have that. See, it's certain illnesses that people acquire that they don't have, you know, it's you know, limited amount of things that they can do. You know, some people are born with certain illnesses and, you know, things like that. But whatever the case is, man, what you put in your mouth can either harm you or it can help you. So, you know, you want to get to a point where you putting things in your mouth that can help you. See, it's just unfortunate that in America, man, you know, it ain't totally your fault, because a lot of us are raised on bullshit foods. A lot of us, the food that we eat now that got our bodies fucked up, this is all we know. This is what we was raised on. If you ate food at school, elementary school, you know, junior high school, and all that shit, if you ate food at the school, all that food at the school is straight bullshit. Processed trash. Man, them little pizzas, them slices of pizza that you get at lunchtime in high school, straight trash. You know, so we at school eating trash. Then when we go home, you know, our parents was raised eating bullshit, so, you know, they give us bullshit. Or sometimes, you know, you might come from a family where, you know, your parents work all day and when they get home, they don't really have time to just whip up, you know, a quality meal like that. So they just, you know, microwave some shit or order some bullshit on Uber Eats or DoorDash or some shit like that, whatever. But it's a bunch of bullshit ass food though. For real. And, you know, as good as that shit tastes, Look at where you at now. Just think about that, man. Like, I'm a pimp. And do I like good tasting food? Yes. Do I like having fun in the bedroom? Yes. But if I had to sacrifice one, I'm going to sacrifice the good tasting food, because food don't have to taste good in order for you to live. Food don't have to taste good in order for you to live, man. But, you know, me, I like performing in the bedroom, man. I like that way better than, you know, just last night. If y'all seen my story on Instagram, I had me a big chunky slice of cheesecake last night. And that shit was good as hell. But that's not something that I'm going to do all the time, though. And I had me some lamb chops. The reason why I had some lamb chops is because I wanted some lamb chops on my last birthday, and I was in Medellin at the time, and I couldn't find no lamb chops around there, so I didn't eat no lamb chops on my birthday. But now that I'm here in Bogota seems to have a better selection of, or a better variety of different restaurants, so I treated myself to some lamb chops last night because I didn't get to do so on my birthday. That's the only reason why I had lamb chops last night, because I've been wanting some. And for the past few years, I usually treat myself to some lamb chops on my birthday. But since I didn't get to do it last year, I did it last night. But, you know, you can afford to treat yourself to things like that every so often if you're taking care of yourself the way that you're supposed to. When you're putting a whole bunch of love in your body constantly, you constantly loving your body, you could treat yourself to them types of things every so often. But see, that's the beautiful thing about being a master of yourself as well. When you're the master of yourself, you know, you don't allow those types of things to master you. See, I can eat lamb chops every once in a while because I'm not going to allow those things to master me. I could eat a slice of cheesecake every once in a while because I'm not going to allow it to master me. It's not a thing where I'm going to relapse like a motherfucker that does a drug. They relapse and now they doing that drug every day. No, I ain't no telling when I'm going to have something like that again. It might be a year, it might be 2 years, it might be 5 years before I eat some shit like that again. I can't even remember the last time I had some cheesecake, but it's probably been a couple years or something like that. I don't know. It's been a minute. But yeah, man, you know, you want to get into a love affair with your body, man. And you're going to be so happy with yourself when you start dropping weight and that insulin resistance starts to go away. You start to become more insulin sensitive again. And then, you know, at the same time, you're doing certain physical exercises to get your pelvic floor right. And then next thing you know, you waking up like this like you used to. Remember you used to wake up like this, man? You probably ain't woke up like that in a long time, man. But guess what? You can condition yourself and restore yourself to a point where you waking up like this again. It ain't over with, man. You know, and don't listen to them doctors, because them doctors is going to tell you some bullshit that's going to support their bottom line, which is, you know, ultimately money. Doctors don't give a damn about your physical well-being. You know, I told y'all about that shit when I seen that dude Dame Drops, man, the YouTuber that do the food reviews and stuff. He went and got a Reebok pump put in his shit, man. He got a pump where the button is up in there, and he pushed the button and it pumps his shit up. Man, hell no. You like food that much? That's crazy. And I know some people are like that, man. Some people like food that much that they'll resort to that in order to be able to still eat that bullshit ass food, man. But man, I ain't never, and I've, as you can imagine, just like anybody else, man, I've had some food that I love the taste of. I've had some food that's like, wow, this shit tastes amazing. But as even the best tasting food that I've ever had, it is not worth me not being able to do this. Man, that's crazy. Hell no. Like Snoop said back in the day, ain't no pussy good enough to get burnt while I'm up in it. Ain't no food good enough to eat where I'm not standing. Shit. Man, hell no, man. And see, what a lot of people don't understand when it comes to food, right? When you start to explore the world of healthy food, you start to discover shit that tastes good and is good for you. See, in America, man, a lot of the shit that we eat ain't good for us. It tastes good, but it ain't good for us. But there is a such thing as food that tastes good and is good for you. And see, that's another thing about America too. We just programmed to be gluttonous. And we want the most sugar in our food. We want the most butter in our food. But when you step away from that type of shit and start eating like normal, the way you're supposed to eat, what's supposed to be normal, you start to realize like you don't even like me, I don't like shit that's like super duper sweet. I don't like greasy ass food. I don't like that type of shit. It was a time before when I used to like that type of shit, but because I'm so far removed from it now, certain things I just can't see myself eating. Like greasy ass fried chicken, hell no. Nah. Can't do it. And fortunately for me, that's one thing I love about being down here in Colombia, man. The food here is just like, the quality of it is just way better. Way better. And I don't know, man. Some of y'all that got food addiction issues that can't put the bullshit food down, man, maybe that's something that you need to consider. Go to a different part of the world for a little while, man, if you can. And see what the food is like there. And see, you'll be surprised by this, right? Let me say this too, right? Speaking of traveling, because a lot of people be thinking that because you're going to a different part of the world that it's going to be way more expensive than traveling somewhere else, man. But hey, listen, man. I remember 2 summers ago, the summer of 24, I took my kids to California, right? And I want to say we was out there for like a week. We was in California for like a week. And I rented a car. And then we drove to California. When we got to California, I got a hotel room downtown LA. We had that for a week. So we had a rental car for a week. We had the hotel room for a week. And then, driving all around California all day, every day. That shit is, the gas in California is ridiculous. So a whole bunch of money burnt on gas. Then, the food in California is, more expensive than the food in Arizona, even though they both expensive, but one is more expensive than the other. So, man, on that 1 week trip, just 1 week, taking me and my 2 kids to California, spending a week out there, hotel room, rental car, gas, food, all that shit. Let alone like shopping or whatever else we might have did while we was out there, going to have fun and shit like that. Man, I can't remember exactly what I spent, but I'm sure it was probably a good 5 bands just on that week. I probably just traveling from Arizona to Los Angeles Phoenix area, Maricopa County, Phoenix area, to Los Angeles, spending a week out there. That's just the next state over. And I spent probably like 5 bands. But then when I went to Costa Rica last August, that was like the first thing that I thought about. I was like, man, it's so much cheaper to come to another country, to Costa Rica. Like that same $5,000 that I spent taking my kids to California for a week, I could have brought them to Costa Rica. And if we only was going to spend a week there, we could have did all the same shit. We could have stayed in just as nice of a place, if not nicer. Ate just as good of food. We could have did all that same shit for like a fraction of the price. That same week, if we'd have spent that in Costa Rica, it probably would have been like maybe $2,000 at the most. The flights. Now, mind you, when I flew to Costa Rica in August last year, my flight, I think, was less than $200. My flight was probably like $190-something, $180-something, some shit like that. So that's like, if you figure around, and it was a round trip. Well, I didn't get a round trip, but I could have got a round trip because the return flight was free. So round trip, $200 a piece. That's like you might as well say $600 round trip for 3 people. If we would have stayed in the Airbnb for that week, it probably would have been like maybe $400, $500 if we wanted something like real nice, $400 for some average shit, and we'd have been able to go to the beach every day, just like in California, you can go to the beach. The food is way cheaper. And that's Costa Rica. Now, if I'd have brought them to Colombia for a week, the flight might have been a little bit more, but everything else would have been cheaper. The Airbnb would have been cheaper. The food would have been cheaper because Costa Rica, everybody talk about how expensive it is, but in comparison to the United States, that shit is way cheaper. Ain't nothing more expensive than the U.S. Shit crazy. But I say all of that to say, man, I know some of y'all probably ain't never left the country because you be thinking that shit is going to be an arm and a leg, man. And if you ever travel to a different state to visit or, spring break or to go see your family or anything like that, hey, man, traveling outside the country is way cheaper than that. I guarantee you. Way cheaper than that. If you from motherfucking New York and you travel to Florida for a week and spend a week out there, man, you could come to Colombia way cheaper than what you would spend going to Florida. Guarantee you it's going to be way cheaper. And not just cheaper, but a better trip. You're going to have a better trip, man. You're going to be able to do more shit, have more fun, eat better. You're going to see a different part of the world that you ain't seen before, man. But I just had to say that because, I know some people probably be thinking that. They probably be thinking to themselves like, man, I would love to travel to such and such place. But it's probably, now mind you, it is some countries that's probably expensive to travel to, where the flight might be a little expensive, or, the country itself might not be the cheapest, or the hotels, or certain resort areas that you travel to. They got a lot of resorts and tourism and shit like that, might be a little more expensive, but man, just about everything is cheaper than traveling within the United States. For real. Hold on. Brother Bill, good looking with the $2 holla. Glory to God for this game. Long live Philip Brandon Gilmore. Health is love. You ain't never lied, man. I know you know. Ebooks, good looking with the $5 holla. More damage to the youth. Body positivity folks like Oprah, Lizzo, Monique, rappers with drugs like Future, Wayne, and Rose, or companies like Pepsi? Man, that's an excellent question, man. That's an excellent question. And I say that they're all equally as bad. All of those things are equally as bad. That body positivity bullshit is bad for the youth. Rappers with the drugs is bad for the youth. And companies like Pepsi is bad for the youth. All that shit, I wouldn't say that any one of them is worse than the other. Because that body positivity bullshit, and then it's the United States. See, you gotta think about how so many different things tie into each other. And how one hand washes the other with so many different things. See, all that shit is that body positivity shit, man, that should be propaganda. Now, I can't prove it, because I ain't in nobody's business and I don't know what they got going on behind closed doors and under the table business deals and all that type of shit, endorsements and what have you. But man, when you see certain celebrities, getting before the masses and promoting certain things, they're not doing it for free. 9 times out of 10, they're being funded by somebody. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if, the food industry, or, just different, whether it's the food industry or the quote unquote, health industry or what have you, like medicine or pharmacies and shit like that, drugs of that nature. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody from that realm, like Big Pharma or something like that, I wouldn't be surprised if they were to fund somebody like a Lizzo or an Oprah in order for them to push certain messages. Because when you morbidly obese, you're going to start having health problems. And most people with health problems resort to medicine. When people get diabetes, the doctor ain't going to tell you like, if you change your lifestyle from this to that, then, you can get rid of diabetes. The doctor ain't going to tell you that. The doctor is going to give you a prescription to go get some medicine. This, most likely being pushed out by Big Pharma and the like. So, I know that those companies, they got to be, endorsing certain people to push certain messages. Feather in their pockets to say certain shit. People with voices and the power of influence and things like that. So yeah, all 3 of those is terrible, man. The rappers with the drugs, that shit is terrible too. Companies like Pepsi is terrible too, man. It's crazy. Like, speaking of Pepsi, man, people don't even be knowing what they be drinking. That shit is crazy. The things that they program us to put in our bodies every day, man, is crazy. And they always use our culture. They always use our voices, our influences, our big celebrities and entertainers. They always use our people to promote certain shit. And a lot of times, our people are young and ignorant and don't know any better and don't even realize they promoting death. Shit crazy, man. But Pepsi, I think I did that shit one time. I think I looked up, it probably wasn't Pepsi, but I had looked up the ingredients to some shit one time. Hold on. Oh. Hold on. Look at this shit. Standard U.S. Pepsi is primarily made of carbonated water. And see, it doesn't even break down what that is. Carbonated water. High fructose corn syrup, it doesn't break. See, these are not just one thing. Carbonated water is not made up of just one thing. High fructose corn syrup is not made up of just one thing. Sugar is made up of one thing, but that one thing is terrible. Caramel color, that's not made up of just one thing. Phosphoric acid, caffeine, citric acid, and natural flavors. What the fuck is that? That's an ingredient? Natural flavors? It's crazy that they're able to even get away with making that an ingredient. Natural flavors. How the fuck is that an ingredient? What the fuck is that? What's natural flavors? What is that? You know? And they make the shit taste so good to us and make us think it's so normal. But it's like, man, anything that you can, and it fizzes, it don't just settle like that. You see how that just settled? You see how I could just, you see how that shit don't fizz and bubble up, man? I don't want nothing if it don't settle like this water, man. Like that love, man. You do that with a Pepsi, it ain't gonna do that, man. That shit ain't cool. Okay, so I guess this is supposed to be a breakdown of the ingredients. Carbonated water is the base of the beverage, whatever the fuck that is. High fructose corn syrup and sugar, dual sweeteners for the classic sweet taste. And we don't know what the hell high fructose corn syrup is. Let's look up each of these ingredients. Let's see. Hold on. We'll just do it right. Hold on. Hold up. Carbonated water. I don't want to see her big ass face no more. Carbonated water consists of what? What is in carbonated water? Carbonated water is simply purified water infused with pressurized carbon dioxide gas to create its characteristic fizz. Depending on the specific type, it often also contains added trace minerals like sodium bicarbonate, sodium chloride, or potassium sulfate to enhance flavor and balance acidity. Okay, let's see. Hold on. The base is purified or natural spring water. The fizz comes from carbon dioxide gas, which is dissolved into liquid under high pressure. Carbonic acid when the CO2 dissolves in the water, it undergoes a chemical reaction to form weak carbonic acid, giving the drink its refreshing, slightly acidic tang. That shit is crazy, man. Okay, what's the next one? Oh, high fructose corn syrup. I know this. They better not try to simplify this shit. What it is. What it is, my man. What it is. Damn, why this shit ain't scrolling? Come on, man. The fuck? My damn computer moving slow as hell. Shit. Come on, man. Okay, there we go. Okay, what it is. An enzyme converts some glucose and corn syrup into fructose, creating HFCS, high fructose corn syrup. It's not pure fructose. Common types are HFCS 42% fructose, and HFCS 55% fructose. Where it's found, we know where it's found. Condiments, dairy, processed foods. Why it's used: cost effective, cheaper than sugar due to corn subsidies. That's crazy. They don't use it because it's good for you. They use it because it's cost effective. So it's cheap to make this bullshit. I'm curious. Let's see. Long-term effects. Long-term consumption of high fructose corn syrup is heavily linked to severe metabolic dysfunctions, including insulin resistance, in other words, diabetes, obesity, type 2 diabetes, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is terrible, and cardiovascular issues. So this is what's going to happen if you just keep drinking soda for a long ass time. Eventually, if you don't stop drinking that shit, these are some of the things that's going to happen to you. The excessive of this sweetener can lead to the following health consequences over time: metabolic syndrome. Chronic overconsumption drives up visceral fat accumulation and fat around organs, elevated blood triglycerides, and causes insulin resistance, significantly increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes. Liver damage. Fructose is processed primarily in the liver, where surplus amounts undergo hepatic lipogenesis, fat creation. This can progress from fatty liver disease to severe inflammation, NASH. Cardiovascular strain. High intake of high fructose corn syrup increases blood pressure, inflammation, and uric acid production, putting a major toll on long-term heart health. Appetite disruption. High fructose corn syrup suppresses leptin, the hormone responsible for making you feel full, which can trigger a cycle of overeating, and sugar dependency. Damn. This is why people overeat. This is why you don't never feel full when you eating foods, and high fructose corn syrup ain't the only food that suppresses leptin. But whenever a lot of the processed bullshit foods that we eat, give us the same sensation. So you don't ever feel satisfied. And then once you finally get done eating and do feel satisfied, you done overate and you feeling all stuffed and lethargic and like, oh shit, I don't feel like doing nothing. Yeah, that's because you consuming this bullshit. Neurological effects. Diets very high in fructose have been studied for their potential to alter brain biochemistry. potentially leading to cognitive/memory dysfunction and impaired dopamine function. Man. And this is just high fructose corn syrup. What was the other one? Let me see. Carbonated. Hold on. For most healthy individuals, carbonated water has no harmful long-term effects. It hydrates as well as plain water, though long-term overconsumption can cause minor issues like gas, bloating, and mild tooth enamel wear from its mild acidity. So I guess this ain't the worst, but they try to minimize it like that ain't like so bad, but I don't want nothing wearing down my enamel on my teeth. Shit. What's the next one? What is natural flavors? What does that consist of? Pepsi specific natural flavors are closely guarded or a closely guarded trade secret. That's crazy. A closely guarded trade secret. That's crazy. That's probably worse than the high fructose corn syrup. Let's just see what drinking Pepsi long-term effects is. See what the long-term effects of drinking this bullshit is. Drinking soda linked to many adverse health conditions. Regular consumption of Pepsi Cola is linked to severe long-term health consequences. Habitual intake increases the risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, weight gain, tooth decay, and kidney issues. Man. Just from drinking the damn soda. These effects are largely driven by the drink's high sugar content, phosphoric acid, and caffeine. Metabolic issues, cardiovascular disease, weight gain, bone and kidney damage, dental decay, addiction, and energy crashes. And that's another thing too. I gotta say, like this kind of like I think it's kind of understated and ain't really emphasized like it needs to be. But listen, man, I guess at times you could say I'm carnivore. At times you could say I'm keto, but for the most part, what it is I just don't eat like heavy carbs. I don't eat bread, rice, a little bit of potatoes sometimes, but I like hot cereals like oatmeal and grits and all that. I don't eat that type of stuff, right? And man, when you cut that out of your diet, the difference that you see with your energy is crazy. Like I never feel lazy. Never. You know how sometimes you had them days where you just like, damn, I don't feel like doing shit. I don't be feeling like that because of the way that I eat. You know, like I remember peanut butter and jelly. You know, I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, man. I remember when I used to eat that shit, sometimes it'll make me feel that way. Like it had been times where I had to force myself to go to the gym after I eat that shit because after I eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I just be feeling lazy as hell, like I don't want to do shit. But man, when you when you have a diet of high protein and high fat and low to no carbs, oh man, you physically, you just feel so full of energy and so good. And it's funny because, you know, they'll say that you need carbs for fuel. You need carbs for energy. You need carbs to do this and do that. Man, I don't be eating hardly no carbs, man. I be having all the energy in the world. For real. I'll be full of energy. So that's something else to consider, man. And see, we just went all down the rabbit hole of just food when it comes to this game, man. But you know, overeating ain't the only thing that's just normalized in the game. You know something, I just always knew it was bad for you, but I never really I don't know what's in crystal meth. I'm curious to know what's in crystal meth. What is crystal meth made of? Well, let's see what it says right here. Toxic fumes. You are asking for the ingredients used in crystal meth, providing a list of ingredients or instructions for the manufacturer. See, you know that you see how they do that. I didn't ask how to make the shit. I just want to know what's in it. I didn't ask for instructions. I just want to know what's in it. For the manufacture of illicit controlled substances is not possible. Crystal meth is okay. This thing right here tells me what's in it, man. I don't want to know how to make the shit. I just want to know what's in it. That's crazy, man. Damn, this shit is slow. Come on, man. What is crystal meth made of? Ingredients and meth cutting agents. Excuse my internet, man. It's moving kind of slow right now, man. Maybe because all these stupid ass ads is trying to pop up that I don't want to see. Meth ingredients. The active ingredients in methamphetamine is pseudoephedrine. Is that how you say that shit? It is used as a decongestant in cold medications to unblock stuffy noses and clogged sinus passages. Making pseudoephedrine into meth involves a number of different chemicals. See, I didn't even know that. So meth got the shit that you use when you got a cold. That's crazy. Excuse me. Most of the chemicals are not made for human consumption. Ain't that some shit? They are dangerous, but people who use meth ingest these things every time they use it. So this is what you put into your body every time you ingest meth. And you know what's crazy? I bet you a lot of people that use meth on a daily basis that's probably high on meth right now, they don't even know they putting this shit in their body. Pseudoephedrine, found in cold and allergy medications. Why it's dangerous. While safe when used as directed, it becomes harmful when chemically altered and misused. I ain't really say much though. Okay, battery acid? God damn. Man, y'all smoking battery acid, snorting battery acid? That shit is crazy. God damn, battery acid. Hey, man, that's scary. I did not know, man, in my 44 years of living, man, I did not know meth had battery acid in it. That's fucking crazy. Common use. Used in vehicle batteries. Why it's dangerous? Because it's fucking battery acid. Come on, man. Why it's dangerous? Highly corrosive and causes severe burns and internal damage if inhaled or ingested. Now, read what this last, before we start getting into the ingredients, what it says. It says, most of the chemicals are not made for human consumption. They are dangerous, but people who use meth ingest these things every time they use it. People who use meth ingest these things every time they use. That means every time you either snort or smoke meth, you're putting battery acid in your body. God damn. Battery acid in your lungs, battery acid up your nostrils. Man, that's crazy. Ammonia, I think I probably knew ammonia was in there, but that's crazy too, though. Anhydrous ammonia. Common use, agricultural fertilizer. Why it's dangerous? Toxic gas that can damage the lungs, skin, and eyes upon exposure. Man, lighter fluid? God damn. Man, people want to get high bad as hell. They don't give a damn what they put into their body. Man, this shit is crazy. God damn. Lighter fluid. And you know what's crazy? If you was to go to somebody to smoke or snort or just uses crystal meth, right? I bet you if you was to give them any one of these ingredients individually, they probably would be scared to consume it. Like if you said, hey, here, just put this battery acid up your nose, or here, fire this battery acid up and smoke it. They gonna be scared. Or just drink this battery acid. They gonna be scared, man. Yeah, just down this ammonia one time. You know what I mean? Put this ammonia down your throat one time. Yeah, drink this lighter fluid too, man, while you at it. You know what I mean? Drink some lighter fluid. You know, you just drank that ammonia, man. You got to wash it down with something, man. Wash it down with this lighter fluid, man. That's crazy. Oh, my goodness. Common use, fuel for lighters and camping equipment. Why it's dangerous? Flammable and toxic, with fumes that can harm the brain and respiratory system. You know, if your brain, you know, fell on you, you can die without your brain. And same thing with your respiratory system, man. Drain cleaner. So is this like plumber or Drano? So these motherfuckers is smoking and snorting Drano? God damn, Drano. You want to get high so bad, you smoking and snorting Drano. Man, that shit is crazy. Common use. Used to clear clogged pipes. Why it's dangerous? Contains caustic chemicals that can severely damage tissues and organs. Man, that's crazy. Paint thinner. This is a cold list of ingredients. This is a cold list of shit, man, that people is putting in their body all the time. Paint thinner. Common use. Used to dissolve or thin paint. Just the thought of that, some shit that can like dissolve paint. I'm putting that shit in my body every time I get high, multiple times a day, every day. Why it's dangerous? Produces harmful fumes and can affect the nervous system with repeated exposure. That shit is crazy, man. God damn. This is some crazy ass motherfucking ingredients, man, that people was. God damn. Man. Man, oh man. Man, that's crazy. Scary shit, man. I'm curious to know with fentanyl is made of as well, but I ain't even about to get into all that. This was enough right here. You know what I mean? And if you ask me, fentanyl is worse than crystal meth. Excuse my pimping. Yeah, man, that shit is crazy. And you know the cold part, you got motherfuckers that consider themselves the pimping that will turn bitches on to that type of shit just so they can control bitches. Which I don't see how you can effectively pimp like that, but man, shit. I guess you got people out here that's doing it. But that shit is terrible, man. God damn. But back to this game that we never left though, man. In the words of my brother Sinful to P.
But getting back to this game that I never left.
That we never left. Yeah, man. This pimping is mind, body, and soul, man. And, back to the original topic of why women, the worst females, feel entitled to the best men. There's no consequence or, there's no, they don't have to suffer in any kind of way. They don't lose anything by being subpar. They don't lose anything by being losers. A bitch could be, sloppy, nasty, messy, trifling, scandalous, a bum. A bitch could be anything that's the worst of the worst, and she's still gonna have thirsty ass niggas that call themselves pimps trying to have her. Shit crazy, man. That's why they feel entitled. That's why that big ass bitch could say, these are my requirements. if I'm gonna choose a pimp, these are my requirements, and he better do this, and he better do that, better do this. Man, a bitch that look like that, man, she shouldn't even feel like that. She should feel like I'm not good enough for a pimp. But, somewhere along the line, more than likely, some dude that called himself a pimp was allowing her to be this subpar ass bitch, and he was satisfied with it and maintaining her in spite of it. And that's why she feel like that's cool. And then another thing that makes these chicks feel entitled is, how some of these dudes will get into it with another pimp over a bitch like that. That's another thing that makes these bitches feel greater than the pimping. And greater than the game as a whole. When they can get, two gentlemen in the game to get into it over them. Like, you probably thinking like, man, ain't nobody gonna get into it over that big ass, funny looking bitch. But man, you'd be surprised. Is dudes getting into it over a bitch like that. For real. And it wouldn't matter if it was the baddest bitch on planet Earth. Even the best bitch ain't worth getting into it over a pimp about. But that all goes back to two, man. It's such a deep rabbit hole with that shit, because a lot of the reasons why these dudes be getting into it over these bitches because they acting like they mama. All they know how to do is emotionally react. That's the only thing they know how to do is emotionally react. Just like they mama. And like I've said before, they looking at the bitch like they corner store, like they territory, like they property, like the hood park and all that type of shit. because they carrying the gangbanger mentality over into the pimp game. And, you know, the gangbanger mentality makes you territorial because you territorial over your turf, your hood. And now when you come into this game, you want to be territorial about the bitch. But the bitch ain't your territory. She not your property. She belongs to the game. And that's only if she even choose the game. Some of these bitches is they just in the game and don't belong to nothing and nobody. They don't even belong to themselves. They belong to the weed. They belong to the food. They belong to the meth, the alcohol, the fentanyl, opioids, all that shit. They belong to all that shit. And you want to kill and die over this bitch. You want to fight over this bitch. Crazy. Hold on just a second. Ebook says body positivity / fat acceptance. Got these big Tonka truck chicks charging like they runway models. Yeah, you know, because that's one thing about social media and the internet, man. It makes everything acceptable. Everything, no matter what you are, who you are, no matter how subpar you are, no matter how much of a bum you are, no matter how trifling you are, everything is acceptable. And they've programmed your mind to think that, you know, if you criticize or if you challenge anything, then you're a hater. And it's a difference between criticism and, you know, being a hater. It's a difference between challenging somebody or something about somebody and being a hater. And, you know, people don't like to be told about themselves. People don't like to be challenged. But like I say all the time, you know, challenges provide opportunities for growth. And when you're challenging yourself on a regular basis, then you prompting yourself to grow on a regular basis. You know, I love being challenged. I love challenging my body. I love challenging my mind. I love challenging my soul. Mind, body, and soul, man. That's what this pimping is about. Come on, man. Why is this shit doing that? But yeah, man, I know it's some dudes that done sweated big bitches like that. And, you know, you got to think about it as yourself as a pimp, man. If you's a fly motherfucker, like I know I'm a fly motherfucker, man. When I get ready to step out and go campaign, man, you know, I put a lot of effort into my shit, man. I take time to make sure my hair is right, my facial grooming is right, my dress code is right. Make sure that I'm looking good, smelling good, all that shit. And not just my body smelling good, but my breath smelling good as well. You know, that's why I don't smoke, because that shit is unfly. When you smoke weed or when you smoke cigarettes, you know, that's another thing that's been normalized because everybody likes to smoke. They think that smell is normal and you supposed to smell like that, man. But hey, listen, man, that shit is unfly. That's one of the main reasons why I ain't never smoked cigarettes. Hey man, that shit stank. That shit make your breath stank and make your clothes stank and make your hair stank and make your hands stank. It make everything stank. If you smoke in your car, the interior of your car gonna stink. If you smoke in a house, your furniture, your curtains, your carpet, everything is gonna stink. You want to make everything funky just to calm your nerves? Hey man, there's other ways to calm your nerves where you don't have to sacrifice the good smell of everything. You know, and then that shit conflicts with a pimp's cologne, man. I don't want to be doing things that conflict with my cologne. You know, my cologne is pimpish. And if I'm smoking cigarettes, man, it's a battle going on between the cologne smell and this cigarette smell, man. That shit is something to smell good and it's something to stank and they fighting with each other and shit. I'm not about to put nothing up against, you know, my cologne. My cologne ain't a boxer. My cologne ain't an MMA fighter, man. I don't need to be challenging my cologne with other smells to see which one can win and all that, see which smell is the strongest and the best fighter. And I don't need to do all that with my cologne, man. My cologne have one job, and that's to make a pimp smell good, man. That's it. I'm not trying to overwork my cologne and put a load on it that it can't handle and all that shit, man. No, I just want my cologne to make my pimpin' smell good, and that's it. Same thing with the weed, man. You know, that shit is unfly. Weed make your breath stank, make your clothes stank, make your hair stank. You know, I know a lot of y'all just watching right now smoke weed, man. But hey, man, a non-weed smoking pimp is here to tell you, man, that shit is unfly. Smoking anything is unfly. Because most of the things that you smoke stank. And on top of that, the human body is not made for smoke. Our bodies are not made to consume smoke. Your lungs are not made for smoke. I know everybody normalize weed and talk about how healthy it is and how good for you it is and shit like that. Yeah, that may be so, but there's other ways to consume that shit besides smoking it. And, you know, your lungs are not made to consume any kind of smoke. That's not why God made your lungs. He didn't make your lungs for smoke. That's not what they for. But yeah, man, you know, that shit is unfly, man. Me, I'm too pimpish for that. I'm too pimpish for your cigarettes. I'm too pimpish for your weed. I'm too pimpish for all that shit, man. I like smelling good. I like my breath to smell good. I like my body to smell good. I like my clothes to smell good. My car, my furniture, my curtains. I like everything to smell good, man. I'm not about to, no. See me, you know, I spray motherfucking cologne on my bed. I spray cologne on the couches and shit like that, man. I'm not. Ain't no smoking going on up in here, man. I like pimpish smells. I like to smell pimpish. That other shit, man, is just gonna put your pimpish ass smell in a conflict, man. Ebook says legal weed ironically got more chemicals and mystery substances. You ain't ever lied. And see, that's the thing too, man. You know, weed ain't even weed no more. I would be scared to smoke the weed they got out now. Cause I was scared of the weed 15 years ago when I quit. I was scared of that weed, man, some of it. You know, back then you was able to find some weed that was okay, but you know, some of that shit was scary, man. Like I remember I smoked some White Widow one time, man. For those of y'all old enough to remember the White Widow, man, that White Widow was some powerful shit. But that shit was so motherfucking strong, man. Man, I told y'all the story, but it's been a long time, so I'll tell it again, man. But one time, me and my partner, Baby Mike, man, me and Baby Mike was in Orange County. We was in Anaheim, and we was getting ready to go into this strip club, and we seen a little stripper bitch. We passed by her in the parking lot, and I was like, "Where you going?" She was like, "To smoke," and I was just shooting the shit. I wasn't even serious. I was like, Sharon is Karen, and she was like, come on. So we was like, bet. So we went over there and smoked with her, man. And I only took 2 hits of that shit. Just 2 hits of White Widow. After that, we go up in the club, man. And the cold part about it, I was in there getting action, man. But my mouth and my mind were not working in conjunction with each other. My mouth and my mind was at odds. They was sitting, back to back to each other like this. My mouth and my mind was not in harmony with one another. So I'm in there, different bitches is talking to me and shit, and I'm getting action, and I'm laughing and smiling at some of the shit that they saying, like jokes and whatnot, but I want to say something, and my mind knows what I want to say, but my mouth is just not cooperating with my mind. I'm just nodding my head and smiling and shit at these bitches, and whenever I want to say something, my mouth just ain't, it won't go, man. Like, my mind got it ready. It's in my mind like the perfect shit to say to this bitch, man, but my mouth was just like, nope. We ain't saying nothing right now, man. We chilling. We on strike tonight, man. So, and that was in 2010 or 2009, something like that. 2009, 2010, somewhere up in there. So, man, the weed now, 16, 17 years later, y'all can keep that shit. I don't need nothing fucking with my mind that much, man. I'm cool. And then another thing, all that shit, it pacifies weakness in a lot of cases, man. For real. A lot of things that you can, a lot of issues that you have mentally, you can deal with that shit yourself and solve it yourself if you just take the time to learn your mind and, figure out the strengths within your mind and exercise your mind, get familiar with your mind. You can solve a lot of them issues yourself, but the American way is to take something. Take some medicine, take this drug, smoke this, drink this, swallow that, snort this. That's the American way. The American way is to, pacify your weakness with a substance instead of addressing your weakness and turning that weakness into a strength. No, they want you to become dependent upon something like weed. And some people really think that, weed is the only way to deal with their issues, deal with their anxiety, or deal with whatever they got going on mentally. Fuck all that. Supposed the Prince said, I'm about to light up a joint just because Freeze talking shit. And see, man, you already know Supposed the Prince, man, that shit is going to conflict with your cologne. It's just like, but, fortunately for you, it's a lot of bitches that smoke weed, so you going to get action regardless, because like that weed smell ain't bad to them because they smoke their damn self. But, you could leave all them bitches that don't smoke. You could leave them to me, man. I'll handle them. I know what to do with them. You know what I mean? Them bitches this go, like if you holler at them, they gonna be turned off by the weed smell, which ain't gonna be that many of them. Fortunately for you, most of them is gonna be turned on by the weed smell. But if they turned off by the weed smell, hey man, all you gotta do is direct them to a pimp. You dig? eBooks says Prince, man, Freeze got the opposite effect. I was about to stop in my route for some tacos, but this nigga put the spirit of rebuking the calories from my body. Plus the taco lady don't want to haggle on a tortilla. Should call ice on her bougie ass. E-books is stupid. Why you gonna call ice on the taco lady, man? She just trying to make a living, man. E-books cold blooded, man. Shout out to the taco lady, man. She ain't hurt nobody. Cynical Bastard says, I haven't smoked in years and don't miss it. You and me both, man. I ain't smoked in years. Over a decade. And same thing with me, man. That's one thing. A pimp don't miss it. Support for the Prince said, damn P, now that you said that, I might got someone to introduce you to. You see, man, that's the power of this pimping, man. You know, great minds, man. When we get to kicking around this game, you know, we start thinking of some good shit, man. You dig? Yeah. Yes, sir. It's overrated. Yeah, and then like eBooks was saying, man, they put so much shit in it, man. It's not even just weed no more. You know, I remember, I started smoking weed in the 90s, man, so I remember how the weed in the 90s was. And the shit that the weed do to these bitches now, it didn't do all that back in the days, man. Like how a bitch smoking, she just be like, she like barely, her eyes ain't even open, and she just like, what? They be looking stupid as hell. Bitches be high as hell, and they start laughing. Oh man, that remind me, man. Oh man, see, y'all probably done heard me talk about her, and I'm pretty sure you done heard Sinful talk about her. But it's this bitch that went between me and Sinful named Mika. This white girl, man. Mika was a cool bitch. But man, Mika, and she was pretty too. She was a nice looking white girl, tall. Bitch was like 5'10", nice body, pretty face, all the shit, right? But man, when that bitch smoked weed, and I don't know if Sinful ever told y'all this story about Mika, but me and Sinful used to laugh with each other, man, because when that bitch smoked weed, man, she just turned, like, she pretty in the face, but when she smoked weed, man, she just become ugly as hell. That bitch used to have the dumbest facial expressions and shit, man. Me and Simple used to die laughing, man. Because that bitch just become totally unattractive, man. When she... Oh, man. I know pimping, man. You know, pimp. We deal with so many hoes, man. I know the P's in the house right now, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Y'all know y'all done had a bitch before that was pretty, but when she makes certain facial expressions, you be like, ugh. And that's how Mika was when she would smoke weed, man. That bitch used to smoke that weed. And she'll be smiling, and she'll be like, what? Like, Pimpin' will be looking at her laughing and shit, and she'll be like, what? What? Ugly as hell, man. Oh, shit, that was funny as a motherfucker. That took me back. That weed turn these hoes into a complete lush. Bitches looking like they just say no, like the just say no commercial melting in the couch. Damn, you took it back, Joe Lee. He said the just say no commercial melting in the couch. Boy, that's a throwback for real. That's way back in the day. But yeah, man, Mika, boy. Man, I wish I had like a video to show y'all of how that bitch look when she get high, man, because that bitch... But man, and see, this is another thing too. This is why it's good to have a healthy pimp, man, that instill good habits in you. Because I can't lie. See, back when I had Mika, I was a totally different pimp. back when I had Mika, yeah, I still was eating McDonald's. I still was drinking alcohol. I wasn't going to the gym, working out. I was eating all kind of bullshit ass food. See, back when I met Mika, I had just stopped eating pork and beef and red meat, period. When I had knocked Mika, because I stopped, because I had Mika first and then Sinful ended up having her. But so when I knocked Mika, that was in like February of '08. And I had just stopped eating red meat and pork New Year's of '08. So I was barely like 2 months into my journey as far as that goes, but I still was drinking alcohol. I still was eating all kind of bullshit food. I just wasn't eating red meat and pork no more, but still eating bullshit. And so I wasn't like the healthy freeze that I would become later on. So, a lot of, and, I didn't understand things the way I do now as far as health and like how the things that you put in your body affects you and how they can harm you or help you and all that. I didn't really understand things like that back then the way that I do now. So, I wasn't able to instill certain habits, not just in her, but, other ladies in the game that I had back then, right? So, I haven't seen Mika since back then, but the last I heard, because I done ran into people that know her, and the last I heard, man, she just went real bad on them drugs. She went real bad on them drugs. Like, hopefully she's still alive wherever she at, man. Because I heard she went real downhill. Because she was from like a little town in West Virginia. Anybody in the house that's familiar with Parkersburg, West Virginia, man, you know what that little town is about. I'm curious, man. Let's see if YouTube got some shit about Parkersburg, West Virginia. Like how you be seeing them videos about Kensington, Pennsylvania, how that shit be looking crazy. I bet you Parkersburg look like that. Because when I went through there back in 2008, it was bad. Let me see. Let me just see what YouTube got about Parkersburg. See, they got Parkersburg trying to look cool. They don't really say nothing about the drugs and shit. Cause see, West Virginia, I don't know about now, but I know like a few years ago, West Virginia was like the overdose death capital of America. They had the most overdose deaths. They ain't really got much. I ain't really got much in here about Parkersburg. I guess because it's such a small town, it ain't, it ain't really eventful like that. They ain't really got nothing, no news on it or anything like that. All right, ebooks, hold on, I got you. Let me go in order, man. Ty Maestro, good looking with the $5 holla. Blessings, P. Just got through reading some Iceberg Slim, and I'm about to schedule a consultation with the Saint in the center. Yee, you heard me? Ah, shit. Funny as hell. Just playing. You heard me? Oh, man. That nigga get on my nerves when he say that shit, man. That's why I don't see how people watch him every day, man. Some people watch that motherfucker every day. And he probably be saying that you heard me shit every day. Every video. You heard me? Nerd ass nigga, man. E-books, good looking with the $2 holla. That lean though is gateway to worse chemicals though. Yeah. You know, and it's just so many things that get glorified in the game that ain't cool. And it's a big part of the reason why so many people in the game is fucked up. One of the things that gets glorified in the game is if it's expensive, it's the shit. If it's expensive, it's fly. If it's expensive, it's cool. And it's a lot of expensive shit that is bullshit. And one of the worst expensive things that's glorified and glamorized and promoted in the game is lean. Yeah, lean is very expensive. Man, there's some cats that spend probably tens of thousands of dollars a month on lean. Just on lean alone, tens of thousands of dollars a month. That's crazy. You giving a dope man tens of thousands of dollars every month on lean. And, you know, that shit is so horrible. That's one thing we could look up. Hold on. Hold on. Lean scissor use in coping with hold on. I want to see the long-term effects though. Oh, long-term effects of lean. Here we go. Let's see what they talking about. Effects of abusing prescription cough medicines. Reject all that. The National Institute of Drug Abuse reports that the use of lean, sometimes referred to as syrup, or purple drink, is problematic for younger individuals, mostly people who are under the age of 25. NIDA reports that the abuse of this concoction, most often individuals drinking large amounts of the drug mixed with soda and other sweeteners. Soda is already bad enough for you. And you mixing this lean shit with it, you mixing this liquid heroin with it, double terrible. Many of these prescription cough medicines contain both codeine for cough suppression and promethazine as a decongestant. The cough syrup is intended for short-term use and to be taken in specific amounts at specific time intervals. Long-term abuse of these drugs can result in some potentially dangerous effects. Physical dependence and development of an opioid use disorder. Long-term effects of having any form of mental disorder can include, so this is like mental disorder after the long-term effects, and then it can include increased probability to develop a serious disease or physical condition, which I'm guessing that's from it must be weakening your immune system when you're abusing this shit for a long time. Increased risk of early mortality. Yeah, because it's a lot of young dudes in their 20s that's gone right now just from sipping lean. You know, don't nobody really talk about that enough, but it's a fact. Significant negative effects on personal relationships. Significant negative effects on personal and professional goals. Significant problems with finances, for sure, because that shit gonna burn a hole in your pocket. Increased probability to become involved with legal entanglements. Boy, entanglements. Every time I hear that shit, I think about Jada Pinkett, dumbass. Increased potential for a severe financial burden that may be long-term, the need for long-term treatment and restrictions on one's lifestyle. Okay, here we go. This is what I was trying to see. Potential long-term physical effects. Codeine is a central nervous system depressant drug, meaning that it slows down the functioning of the neurons in the brain and spinal cord. Who in the fuck would want to drink that all the time? Chronic abuse of lean can result in some significant ramifications to physical health that include complications associated with chronic respiratory suppression, including increased potential to develop lung problems or respiratory diseases. Cardiovascular effects that can include problems with cardiac functioning, blood pressure, and an increased potential to suffer heart attack or stroke. Damage to liver, kidney damage. Man, this shit is crazy. And this is what people, just because it's expensive and it makes you feel good, this is what people want to do to their body. Man, that shit crazy. I'm so glad I always been too fly for this shit, man. Potential brain damage due to chronic hypoxia, decreased oxygen delivery because of decreased respiration. Brain damage, including numerous cognitive and physiological effects like problems with memory, attention, judgment, and the development of emotional problems such as chronic depression and anxiety, and etc. Increased risk to become victim of an accident or crime while under the influence of lean. Yeah, because that's something that don't get talked about either, man. You know how many people died in car accidents while they was high off of lean. I ain't gonna say no names, man, but I know a few pimps who died like that. And I know some pimps that's fortunate enough to still be here that done wrecked numerous cars, like wrecked the shit out of their car. Like, man, you know, it's a partner of mine who I got in mind, man. He done wrecked some shit. And I think he's done with it nowadays. I don't think he fuck with that shit no more. But he's blessed to still be here because some of them car accidents that he was in, you would think he wouldn't be here no more. So yeah, man, that's something that don't get talked about either. But that's that's just as much of a risk as kidney damage, liver damage, brain damage, respiratory damage, all that shit. Getting into an accident while under the influence or a crime. Yeah, you know, some people might do certain crimes while they off that shit too, but the main thing I'm looking at is the accident shit because, like I said, it's a few pimps that I have in mind right now that died while they was sipping lean, while they was under the influence of lean, falling asleep at the wheel, nodding off and shit while they driving. Yep. Man, shit crazy. But yeah, that lean, man, it ain't cool and it ain't no joke. E-books, good looking with the $5 holler. Do you see P's who had addiction like Mel Taylor did PCP like Bishop as blemished or just part of the game? How about fat ones like Payroll, RIP? Nah, I wouldn't say that that's part of the game. And see, that's what I'm talking about. You know, people will try to make it like it's part of the game, but it's not. You know, some people just fall weak to things, man, and you know, they just get wrapped up in that bullshit. But no, that's not part of the game. It ain't got nothing to do with the game. A lot of participants in the game indulge in these things, but that don't mean that it's part of the game, though. The game itself, that ain't part of the game. That ain't got nothing to do with the game, man. And I'm pretty sure those individuals would even tell you that, you know, unfortunately, Mel Taylor and Payroll are no longer with us. But I'm pretty sure Mel Taylor, if we were able to ask him how he felt about drugs in the game, even though he, you know, fell into a problem later in his life, pretty sure he would tell you that, nah, that ain't got nothing to do with the game. For sure that. I mean, look at what he produced. Even though he fell into that and had a problem with that later on in his life, look at what he produced. He produced an Andre Taylor, who's never done anything like that. You dig? So that right there should speak for itself as far as it being a part of the game. Nah. Because if it was part of the game and Mel believed that it was a part of the game, then who's to say that Dre wouldn't have ended up like that? You know, by his dad being the strongest influence in his life and him, you know, coming to understand the game the way his dad understood the game. If Mel believed that drugs was a part of the game, then who's to say that Dre wouldn't have ended up that way because he would have picked that up from Mel believing that drugs was a part of the game. But no. Obviously, Mel Taylor didn't believe that drugs was a part of the game because he produced Andre Taylor, who also understands that drugs ain't part of the game. So, yeah, that right there speaks for itself. And eBooks, good looking for the $2 holla. You dig? But as we say, man, it's lonely at the top. Especially in the United States, man. You know, in the U.S., the majority of people are sick one way or another. Let me look that up. Percentage of Americans who are obese. See, I would have thought the majority, but it's close to the majority though, close to half. Approximate, and see, you can't always believe these numbers, man, because you know these numbers can be manipulated because people can manipulate statistics like it ain't shit, and some people have been proven to have manipulated statistics and shit like that. But according to this AI, Google, approximately 40% of American adults are classified as obese with a BMI of 30 or higher, which if y'all remember me saying that earlier in this live, that, you know, technically a BMI of 30 is considered obese. But, you know, when I was like bigger and more swole, I had a BMI over 30. And I ain't never been obese in my life. When including those who are categorized as overweight, more than 70% of the adult population is either overweight or obese. Okay, so what's considered overweight? Let me see. Hold on. What is considered overweight? Wait, so if you have a BMI between 25 and 29, you considered overweight? That's some bullshit. 25 ain't shit. Adult obesity breakdown. Obesity prevalence 40.3% of U.S. adults. Severe obesity 9.4% of U.S. adults. So what is severe obesity considered? See, you can't really go off of these damn statistics because they saying that a BMI of over 25 is considered overweight, and that's bullshit. Let me see. I'm going to show y'all some people with a BMI of 25, and you tell me if it's overweight or not. Hold on. We're going to look at some women that got a BMI of 25. And y'all tell me if you think they overweight. Is she saying her BMI is 25? Hold on. Come on, slow ass computer. Okay, so yeah. So this chick right here says my BMI results says I'm overweight, just slightly over 25. So her BMI, this is somebody whose BMI is 25. Y'all tell me if you think she overweight. She might be a little overweight in them thighs and them cakes back there. You know, she got one of them cakes that you can see from the front, though. You can see from the front she got some cakes. Okay, here's another, some other images of her. Oh, wait, I should have clicked on this. Hold on. But yeah, that don't look like nobody that's overweight. That don't look like nobody that's overweight. She out doing a lot of grown ass men right there. That's cold. But this is what America is saying is overweight. They crazy. That's wild. Now, let's see. I'm gonna show y'all myself with a 30 BMI. But no, that woman right there is not overweight. See, my BMI hella low right now. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all what my BMI is right now. Hold on. Let me look it up real quick. Let me look up my BMI real quick. I'm gonna tell you what it is right now, and then I'm gonna show you what it was. Okay, so my BMI is 25 right now, right? So this picture right here, this is what I look like right now too. This picture was a few weeks ago or maybe a month ago, something like that. About a month ago. Yeah, it's about a month ago. So this is me overweight. And everybody's saying I'm skinny right now, you know what I mean? But according to America, I'm overweight right now. This is me with a 25 BMI. Freeze overweight, y'all, man. I'm getting fat, man. This is me overweight. That's crazy. And I ain't been this small in years, over a decade. Now that's me with a 25 BMI. This is me with probably, I say I'm probably like a 31 or 32 BMI right there. At least 31 for sure. That's me with a 31 BMI. Now that's me obese. That's obese freeze. Y'all just seen overweight freeze. Well, you looking at, currently I'm overweight with a 25 BMI. I'm overweight. This is me when I was obese. That's the obese freeze, y'all. Y'all looking at obese freeze right there. Obese as hell. Look at me with my fat ass. Just fat as I want to be, man. Obese as hell, man. Too damn big. I guess I have been obese before. This is me when I was obese. That's crazy. Here go another picture of me when I was obese. Obese freeze, y'all. That's me. Now right there, I'm probably, I might be like a 30. I think I'm a little bit smaller right here than I was picture. I think I got a little bit smaller by this time because I'm definitely more lean right there. I'm probably about a 30 right there, but I'm still obese according to America. Obese freeze, y'all. This is me when I was obese. Here go another image of me when I was obese, man. I'm probably about a 30 BMI right here too. Maybe no, I think I was probably 31 right here, 31 or 32. That's with a 31 or 32 BMI. I'm obese as hell right there too. Look at this obese ass nigga right here, man. Obese as hell, man. Obese freeze, man. That was me obese. This is me overweight. A little bit overweight right here, y'all. That's me, what I look like right now, man. A little bit overweight, man. But it's all right. I'm going to get it together, man. America say I'm overweight, but I'm going to get it together. But but whether the percentage is 40% of people in America are obese or whatever, that might be inaccurate because what they call obese is not what most of us would consider to be obese. But whatever the case, there's too many Americans that are overweight and obese. It's too many Americans that's morbidly obese. See, look, Bill almost obese. You cutting it close, Bill. You kind of close, man. Bill says I'm 29.3. I'm almost overweight according to the chart. No, you overweight right now because I'm overweight at 25. So if you 29, you overweight too. Don't try to escape the overweight class, Bill. You overweight, man. You fat, man. I'm fat too. I just made it up in there with the 25, but you overweight too. Bill fat as hell. I'm fat. I'm fat. Bill fat as hell. He ain't obese as hell. He ain't even obese yet. He borderline. He fat as hell. I'm fat. Bill fat as hell. I'm 29.3. I'm almost overweight according to the chart, but I'm also sub 15% body fat. Yeah, you still overweight though, man. But nah, shout out to that sub 15 body fat though. 15% body fat, yeah. Yeah, shout out to that though, man. That's the shit right there. Yeah, anytime you if you got a 29 BMI and less than 15% body fat, you doing good, man. You're doing good, especially you know what I mean, to be, you know, in our 40s and shit like that, yeah, you're doing good, man. Okay. Right here, I remember a little something, but I'll be back one day. Right, like Lemuel Jackson say, that BMI stuff is a load of shit. Yeah, I mean, it's cool to know what your BMI is, but as far as what they classify as overweight and obese and all that part is a bunch of bullshit because shit, I'm 25. I got a 25 BMI right now, and I know I'm not overweight. I know that I'm not overweight. And then when I had a 30 BMI, I know I wasn't obese. Definitely wasn't obese. I mean, I know I was muscular as hell with a 30 BMI, but P got the Adonis belt. You know it. Yes, indeed. Got it. Says mine's said 27.3. Freeze, what's in your body score? Have you tried in-body freeze? No, I'm not hip to that. Body score, I'm not sure what that is. Laugh out loud, cut no corners with freeze. Yeah, Bill tried to say he ain't overweight, man. Bill overweight, man. He up in there with me, man. We in the same class, you dig? How do you find your body fat, freeze? You know, when you go to the gym, they got the little body fat measuring thing that you can use there, or certain scales have, you know, measure your body fat. I'm mad because not too long ago I bought a scale. A few weeks ago I bought a scale, and it's supposed to measure your body fat, but it don't. It never works. I cleaned it off because, you know, you're supposed to step on the scale barefoot to measure your body fat. I make sure I, you know, cleaned it off real good, made sure my feet was clean, of course, stepped on it, and it still wouldn't measure. It just don't. I guess I bought a defective one. It tells me how much I weigh, but it don't tell me body fat and all that shit. But yeah, they got body fat scales. Like I got one back in the States, of course. Back home in the States, I got a nice scale that measures your body fat. But the one that I bought out here, janky. But yeah, that's probably the most convenient way to measure your body fat is just go buy a scale that measures it. Okay, Kobe the P says it's a scale. It's called in-body. They show your body fat. Oh, okay. And other stuff like visceral fat. Crazy, never works. Send it back. I'm in Colombia, man. You know, they shit don't work the same out here, where if something don't work, you know, you can just easily take it back. I probably could take it back, but I probably have to go through a bunch of bullshit. Plus, you know, it was kind of cheap anyway, so I'll probably just go try to find a different one. What I should do is try that motherfucker first before I buy it. Try it before I buy it. Probably go to a store and see if I can find a different one and try that motherfucker, and if it works, then I'll buy it. That's what I should do. But now that in-body scale, I haven't tried that one. Bill said, my gym has an in-body scanner. I say skip it and go get a DEXA scan. Yeah, that's really the best bet. Right, like Worldwide Chris said, ain't no refunds in Colombia. Hey, man, I just be chalking shit. Hey, Worldwide Chris, it have been a few times I done bought some shit out here and it like didn't work or it was something wrong with it or something, man. I just chalked that shit up, man. I was like, oh, well. Because, you know, like you said, it's Colombia. But See, the beautiful thing about it, yeah, you might not be able to get no refund on anything like that, but shit is so cheap, you could just go buy another one with most things. Most things are cheap as hell out here, and you could just go buy another one. So, Dexa is the best. It's 98% accurate. It's a low dose x-ray. Yeah, I need to go get a DEXA scan, man. See what's going on with myself. I need to get one. I've never known my body fat. Yeah, it's kind of cool to know your body fat. See, me, like how Kobe the P was saying, you know, it measures the visceral fat, which a DEXA scan gonna do that too. But that's one of the things that I'm most proud of, is that I done got rid of all that visceral fat that I had. Cause yeah, I was on swole and big and swole and shit like that, but I didn't like all that visceral fat that I had around my stomach. You know what I mean? It wasn't like too out of control, because as you see, I lost the shit like that. So it wasn't too out of control, but I just didn't like the fact that I knew I had too much visceral fat going on around here. So it feels good to know that shit is gone. You know what I mean? Pimp ain't got no visceral fat. All my organs got plenty of room to do their thing now. You know, they not being choked out by fat. So I'm good. Yes, a pimp is good. Right, visceral fat around them organs. Yeah, man, Pimp done got rid of all that shit, man. So, you know, Pimp doing his thing now, man. Okay, support for the Prince say, that's dope. My grandson nickname is Young Kobe the P because he was born on 8/24. Ha, that's dope. That's a cold birthday to have too. And what's so cold about that, so he was born on 8/24, which is both of Kobe's numbers, and that's just a few days before Kobe's birthday. So that's some cold shit. He born right before Kobe, and he got both of Kobe's numbers. That's some dope shit. Yeah, because Kobe an August baby too. He a Virgo too. That's good shit. Worldwide Chris says, P, how would you compare Bogota to the other cities you've been to? Bogota is cool. A lot of it's a trip. Now, mind you, see, like I'm like a creature of habit, man. It be taking me something to like go explore certain shit sometimes, man. Now, Medellin, because I spent so much time there, I explored a lot of Medellin and I got real familiar with a lot of Medellin. But Bogota, now everybody be complaining about how cold it is here. It do get a little chilly here, but it ain't like unbearable cold. It ain't like, just like, all that type of shit. It ain't that bad. It get a little bit chilly, man, but it don't get like freezing cold. But in comparison to the other cities in Colombia, I could see how people wouldn't like Bogota because of how cold it gets. But it don't get real cold like that. It get a little bit chilly, but not too cold. So it's that, and like I was saying earlier, I think they got a better variety of food here. Because like I said, I was able to find a restaurant with lamb chops with no problem, but in Medellin, I couldn't really find no restaurant that had lamb chops. Not saying that there ain't none out there. I'm pretty sure there are. But if there are, there's not a wide selection of restaurants like that. But not just with lamb chops. I just think in general, like, I think that Bogota has more upscale restaurants, like a bigger selection of upscale restaurants and a better variety of different types of restaurants. Just from a little bit of research that I done on restaurants and shit like that, I think Bogota got a better selection of food. What else? I don't know. People be saying it's real dangerous here, but they say that about everywhere. To me, it's laid back and cool. I ain't had no issues. I ain't seen, like, I haven't, because I ain't really had too many issues. I had one little issue in Medellin, but other than that, I ain't had no issues. But I've seen a lot of people have issues in Medellin. Now, I ain't spent nearly as much time in Bogota or been around as much in Bogota as I have in Medellin, but, you know, just in a little bit of time that I've been here, I ain't really seen like a lot of bullshit. I think I seen one fight. I think I might have seen one fight since I've been here, and it wasn't that bad. Because a lot of times when people fight out here, it turn into a knife. Somebody gonna pull out a knife. 9 times out of 10, if you see somebody get into a fist fight out here, one of them, if not both of them, is gonna pull out a knife. The knife is gonna get pulled. But I think I seen one fight that it was just like a little scuffle and that was it. It didn't escalate. But yeah, Bogota, it seems laid back. It's a pretty city. It's real green. Yeah, it's a nice looking city. It's a lot of greenery here. But Medellin is like that too. But Bogota is cool. It's laid back. It's not as, you know, at least to me, it's not as chaotic as a Medellin. You know, Medellin can be chaotic at times. Here it don't really seem as chaotic. But you got to keep in mind too, man. That's another reason why I can't really speak much on Bogota, because it's a huge city. Like Bogota is about 4 times the size of Medellin. So it's like Medellin times 4. So, you know, it would take being here for a while to like move around the whole city and get familiar with the whole city and learn this motherfucker. I probably had to be here for a minute to understand it like that. But just from a little bit of time that I've been here, it's a cool city. It's worth checking out. And I know that there's a lot of shit that I haven't seen yet. This, you know, I'm sure worth seeing, like the nightlife and shit like that. I ain't been to no club, but I'm not like a really big club person like that anyway. You know what I mean? Like I said, you know, it takes something for me to like really get out and explore certain shit. But I heard the nightlife here is cool, but I haven't went to go see it. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go see it before I leave. I still got like 10 days minimum here, but I might stay longer. I'm not too sure. But Bogota is a cool city. I would say I like Medellin more than anywhere else that I've been, but that's probably just because like I'm so familiar with Medellin. Like I know Medellin like real good. I done been all over the city. I know people in Medellin. You know, I know where the things that I like are, like the restaurants that I like, the gym that I like. I know where all that shit is in Medellin. You know, I'm comfortable in Medellin. You know, I know my way around. It's just, you know, I'm just real familiar with Medellin. That's why I like it so much. But I haven't spent nearly as much time anywhere else as I have there in Colombia. So it's kind of hard for me to compare other cities to Medellin because I ain't spent as much time. Now Armenia was cool. Armenia is a little small town, and it ain't really nothing to do there. It can be kind of boring. But see, it was good for me because I like that. Like I like sometimes being in places where it ain't nothing to do and I could just sit back and just grind and focus on the right things and, you know, just stay on my purpose or whatever it is that I want to do at that time. Like Bogota is good for that. Like if you need somewhere to go, this a cool city. Like it's got its conveniences and things like that. But, you know, you don't want no distractions and you want to stay focused on something. Armenia is cool for that. Pereira is is a cool town too. It's a little bigger than Armenia, but it's still a small town. And it's like a smaller version of Medellin. Armenia and Pereira have similar weather to Medellin. It's usually always warm. Of course, it rains. I think it rains just about everywhere in Colombia, but yeah, it rains. There's stuff to do in Pereira. You know, got a cool little nightlife scene. Pereira got some nice little restaurants too and shit like that. They got a nice ass rooftop bar called Zelva Rooftop Bar. If you ever in Pereira, check out Zelva, Zelva, Zelva Rooftop. It's a nice bar. They got a dope ass bar in there, but they got good food too. It's a restaurant / bar, rooftop setup. It's a nice spot. It's classy, upscale, reasonably priced. Ain't too expensive. Cool spot. You dig? But have you seen the Escobar hippos? Yeah, ebooks. I did see that. I seen the one statue that Escobar blew up. That Botero had made him this one statue and Escobar blew that motherfucker up. I seen that statue too. Worldwide Chris says, I was there for a minute. Shit get wicked in the tourist areas, but I like Bosa, Kennedy, and Fontauban. See, I heard of Kennedy. I ain't been to Kennedy. I just went to Zona G last night and ate at a dope restaurant over there called Harry Sassoon. Yeah, Harry Sassoon. That's a dope ass restaurant. Worldwide Chris, I don't know if you've been there, but next time you come to Bogota, if you ain't ever been to Harry Sassoon, go check that joint out. It's fly, it's upscale, and on the real, hey man. See, I know the game is different out here. You know, bitches don't really move that type of way out. But man, when I was in that Harry Sassoon shit last night, it was so many white boys in there that I could just see. I knew they had money, and I was just thinking to myself, like, man, if a motherfucker send the right bitch up in here, man, she could come in here and just clean house. Man. But but beyond that though, they got good ass food. Like I said, I had the lamb chops up in there. The lamb chops was pretty decent. They wasn't the best that I've had, but they was pretty good. Yeah, the ambiance, everything was nice. You know, the service was good. The prices was, you know, decent. Not the cheapest, but not the most expensive. You know, Colombian prices compared to the US ain't shit. You know what I mean? I think I might have spent like almost 500 mil, which is probably like close to $170, somewhere up in there. So yeah, it was cool. '90s Baby says, are you familiar with the area of Colombia where the black people be? They said that's where Griselda Blanco is from. And then Worldwide Chris says, you mean Buenaventura? And then he said, I forgot the name of it. But, damn shit. But, I don't know if that's where Griselda Blanco is from, but it's a few towns that I want to go to where it's mostly black people. One of them is Tumaco. Tumaco is a port town. It's like, it got beaches and shit. It's down in the south part of Colombia, like close to Ecuador. I want to go check that out. Buenaventura is also a port town. It's actually the biggest port in Colombia. Buenaventura is predominantly black. Also, I want to go check that out. And then Quibdó, which is in Choco. Choco is a state. Out here they call them departments. A department is the same thing as a state. But Quibdó is also predominantly black. And those are all some places that I want to go check out for sure. But hold on, I could tell you now if it's all black where Griselda Blanco was born. I'm finna look up where she was born. Where was Griselda Blanco born? Oh, Cartagena. She was born in Cartagena. Yeah, Cartagena, I don't think it's predominantly black, but they have a large black population, though. Kind of like Cali, Colombia. Now, Cali, Colombia, if you want to talk about just numbers, Cali, Colombia has the largest number of black people, but they don't have the highest percentage of black people. They got I think Cali got 600,000 black people, which is more than any other city in Colombia. But the percentage of black people in Cali, I think is 30%. So it's close to 1 out of every 3 people in Cali is black. But they don't have the highest percentage. The highest percentage would be somewhere like Buenaventura or Quibdó or Tumaco. All of them places is 85, 90% black, the whole city. So, and Cartagena got a big population of black people too. I don't know the number of black people or the percentages or nothing like that with Cartagena, but they do got a lot of black people out there too, though. So, yeah. Ebook says, I've been to Colombia, surprisingly didn't trick that much. That's what's up. Ebook says, did more spending in DR and Ecuador and Brazil. Used to take frequent trips to Tijuana, but shit got dangerous. Yeah, I ain't been to Tijuana since I was a kid, man. My pops took us out there when I was in high school. But so I wouldn't know what it's like as far as an adult. I hear it's dangerous all the time, though. Loved by a few, hated by many says Central and South America has the most black people, has more black people than our country. Yeah, I could believe that because it's a lot of these countries down here that have large populations of black people. A lot of people don't, it's a trip. Surprisingly, a lot of people don't know that Colombia has a lot of black people and that it has parts where it's all black. Like I said, Quibdó, you go to Quibdó, you ain't gonna see nothing but black people. You go to Buenaventura, you ain't gonna see nothing but black people. You go to Tumaco, you ain't gonna see nothing but black people. And then there's other places you go, you gonna see a lot. Like if you go to Cali, you're gonna see a lot of black people. Cartagena, you're gonna see a lot of black people. Now, that's one thing I've noticed in Bogota. I ain't really seen just a whole lot of black people here. I see more black people in Medellin than I do here in Bogota. But that's just me. I could be wrong. I don't know. Damn, ebook says, went to Cucuta in 2018 and damn, Venezuela took over and got robbed on some passport shit. Damn. I have heard that Cucuta was dangerous. I wanted to go check out Cucuta as well. It's so many different cities in Colombia that I want to go check out, man. So far, I've only been to Medellin, of course, Armenia, Pereira, and now Bogota. But I still got to go check out Cali. I want to go hit Tumaco, Buenaventura, Quibdó. I still ain't been to Cartagena, Barranquilla, Santa Marta. I still got to go check all of them out. Bucaramanga, I still want to go there, check that out. Cucuta, I want to go there too. It's a lot of cities just in Colombia alone that I haven't been to yet that I want to go check out. But yeah. Oh, and San Andres, which is an island. This a part of Colombia. I want to go there too, for sure, for sure. Suppose the Prince says that Atlantic slave trade in South and Central America first, then came to America. That's why it's a lot of blacks. Yeah, a lot of these Caribbean islands and shit like that. A lot of black folks. Rain Your Band says, Freeze, you ever thought about going to that Europe? I've been to Germany, south of France, Greece, Italy, Czech Republic. It's cool out that way. Yeah, nah, I definitely want to go to Europe at some point too. I really want to go to Africa, man, and go around Africa. Worldwide Chris says, Banakia lit P. It's hot, but you won't be disappointed. Yeah, I've heard that Banakia is hot. I heard Santa Marta is a little cooler weather-wise than Banakia, but they be racist as shit, fucking Venezuelans. Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of people in Colombia don't like Venezuelans, but they not all bad. They got their good and bad just like everybody else. Loved by few, hated by many says, the original people globally are black people. Original first, Europeans, Asians, Mexicans, Hawaiians, Russians, Germans, Philippines, etc., 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 are black people. Yeah. That's real if you just look at their features. Big lips and big noses and shit like that. That's us. Ebook says, being married to a Cuban and dating a Russian lady, let me tell you folks, that escaped social countries are straight tether and sympathies with far right. Huh. Cosmic Blackie says, I like Sherry Shepherd and women that look like her. I think she's beautiful, and what happened to her wasn't right. That shit was fucked up. I'm not sure who Sherry Shepherd is. Let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the comedian, actress, girl. I don't know what happened to her, but Sherry Shepherd says goodbye to her talk show after 4 years. Sherry said goodbye. Woody Wood. Yeah, I don't know what happened to her though. Dirty South Boxing says a lot of girls in Thailand be getting their lips and noses done to look more black. Yeah, that don't surprise me. You got any funny Hawaii stories? Funny Hawaii stories. Yeah, when I roasted the shit out of somebody, that was one of my most classic roastings that was never recorded that I wish it was though, man. Oh man, some of y'all done heard this story before, but yeah, man, hold on, let me put some love in my body, man. If you ain't wiped your feet off by now, you're tripping, man. Hit that like button. But yeah, man, so when I was in Hawaii back in 2010, right? I had sent for one of my pimp partners that was leaking, man. My pimp partner at the time. He was in the Midwest leaking, and it was wintertime. It was snowing, and he didn't have nowhere to go and shit like that. So I sent for him, brought him to Hawaii with me, right? All the way from the Midwest, from Ohio. And we was out one night, chilling, circle of pimps, and, couple of, the weed man and, little hoodlums was in the mix and shit like that. But we all chilling, right? And this pimp partner who I'm talking about that I had sent for, he used to always, cause see, people let the smooth taste fool them. When you well groomed and articulate and know words that the average person don't know and shit like that, and you carry yourself like a gentleman, a lot of people be thinking that you soft, like you won't beat their ass, or like you ain't never beat nobody's ass, right? Or like you scary or some shit like that, or you scared to go here, or scared to do that. And so, he kind of used to get at me like that, man. And I had to roast the shit out of him because he, it kind of snowballed from him saying like, yeah, I done stomped in areas where you wouldn't even go, and whoop around the country. I done been to this neighborhood and that neighborhood and whoop. And mind you, he's from Portland, Oregon, right? And shout out to Portland. I ain't got no problem with Portland and no disrespect to Portland. But at the same time, it's like, if you coming at me and trying to make it seem like you this hard individual, yeah, I'm a bite you up about that. So like I said, he like, yeah, I done been over here and you wouldn't even go over here and do this and whoop. And I had to get on his head. I was like, man, hold on. First of all, my nigga, like, nigga, I'm from Los Angeles, man. Like, nigga, where you from? All that shit you niggas is doing up there, nigga, y'all got that from us, nigga. I'm from Los Angeles, nigga. Like, stop talking like you just this, like you Tookie Williams or somebody, nigga. Like, I'm from LA, nigga. Like, everything that y'all want to be, nigga, that's where I come from. You know what I mean? Everything that y'all got going on up there, nigga, that come from us. Nigga, I'm your daddy, nigga, where I'm from. Nigga, we're your daddy, nigga. Like, stop it. So then I just start going in on that nigga, man, because I was taking care of the nigga, and he started trying to pop all this pimp shit. So then we got to the pimping. And I'm like, nigga, show me one thing that you done pimp for. And now, mind you, when I'm saying this, right, I'm pimping. I'm doing my thing. But it just so happened, because I had been being a blessing to Baby Mike when he was leaking, Baby Mike had got on his feet. And when he started checking them, we was at the mall one day and he wanted to buy me an outfit as a return in the favor of me looking out for him for the way that I did. So I was like, fuck it, cool. So he bought me an outfit, and I just so happened to be wearing that outfit that Baby Mike had bought me. And I was like, yeah, man, show me something that you done pimp for, though. You know what I mean? I was like, I pimp for this phone because the clothes that I was wearing, I didn't pimp for. So I was like, I pimp for this phone. You know what I mean? It ain't shit, $1,000 phone, but I pimp for it, though. Can you show me one thing that you pimp for? And he like, oh, nigga, I done did so much pimping, whoop. I said, yeah, nigga, because you got a cross-country outfit on, nigga. I said, this motherfucking shirt you got on came from a pimp from Ohio. No. I said, nigga, the shirt that you got on came from a Portland pimp. Nigga, the shoes that you got on came from Ohio pimp. And I grabbed his pants and yanked on his jeans. I said, nigga, these motherfucking jeans you wearing, nigga, I pimp for those. Nigga, those jeans came out of hoe ass nigga that I pimped on, nigga. And and man, I just went in and I roasted that motherfucker. I roasted the shit out that nigga, man. And yeah, he didn't want no parts of me after that as far as roasting go. Yeah, he kind of regretted doing that with me, but yeah, that was a funny Hawaii story. Diamonds, I ain't gonna do that. You know why? See, Diamonds. See, I know you probably used to certain types of guys, talking to you like you one of the fellas, or treating you like a pimp partner or anything like that. But if I'm not mistaken, Diamonds, you've been watching me for a little while, so you should know better than to ask me something like that. I ain't finna tell you no pimp's name that I roasted and all that type of shit. I ain't gonna do that. Come on now. You know my caliber, woman. You know Freeze ain't gonna do that. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, shout out to Portland though. You know what I mean? Because I got a lot of love for Portland. I got a lot of loved ones from Portland that I got respect for and love for. So, I would never disrespect the city of Portland, but just for the sake of biting his head off, I had to take it there, man. Like nigga, I'm from LA, nigga. Don't ever try to play me like I'm like nigga. Come on, nigga. I'm from Long Beach, California, nigga, the east side, nigga. Like, stop it, nigga. And I done been all over LA County, the worst of the worst neighborhoods, nigga. I done been to a lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Nigga, places that people would be scared to go. I done went over there and kicked it. Nigga, stop it. So, but 90s, baby. The university said you and Sin a cold combination when it come to roasting. Yeah. Yeah, that's too much for a motherfucker right there. Pooba 312 said, "What's up with the ladyboy simp dude talking about he owned the rights to Sinful's page? Blasphemy." I don't even, and I see the little stuff that he called himself trying to do, man, but I don't even entertain that guy because it's like whatever he trying to do is gonna fail. I'm just disappointed in whoever allowed him to get his hands on Too Real for TV. I that's one thing that I'm disappointed in, man. I don't know how that happened. I don't know who let that happen. But whoever allowed it to happen or let that happen or made that happen need their ass whooped. Because, the legacy of Too Real for TV is just too cool, man. And I don't like what's going on with it. Because I don't like who's behind it. And it's like, man. Leave that shit alone, man. But yeah, that shit ain't gonna go nowhere, man. The little bullshit that he trying to do. Talking about he own the rights to this and that, and I don't even entertain that shit because that's one thing I realized about my voice, man, is the power of my voice. I've made the mistake of empowering the wrong people by mentioning their ass or talking about their ass or making videos dedicated to their ass, and I'm not doing that no more. People that can't acquire attention on their own, people who don't know how to market themselves on their own, people who don't know how to get views, or people that just don't know how to make shit happen on their own. I'm not about to help them. So yeah, I don't even entertain that shit. And I know because I ain't entertaining it, it's going to die. It needs me to water and nurture it and help it grow. Since I'm not going to do that, it's going to die. The Everyday Muslim said, "Hey, Freeze, I used to watch you in Sinful. It's funny you popped up on my feed. That's the game. You dig? Yeah, the game gonna come around when it's necessary. You dig?" Yeah, R.I.P. Roy, man. I just like I said, what dude got going on, it ain't gonna go nowhere, man. So I'll just be glad when I'll be glad when he's leaving Too Real for TV alone, when he ain't got nothing to do with it again. That's when I'll be glad for Too Real for TV. Cause see, like, it just goes to show you the difference with shit, right? Now, you see how I have control of Sinful to Peace channel, which, by the way, He's only like 400 and something subs away from 100,000 subs. He like 440, give or take a few people. He 440 subs roughly away from 100,000 subs. So yeah, bro about to hit that mark and get that plaque. But if you pay attention, you know, Sinful been gone not as long as Maroy, but he been gone for some years now. And if you notice, I've never used Sinful's platform for myself. Whenever I have used Sinful's platform, it's to glorify him, it's to promote him, it's to, you know, honor him. I've never put any content on Sinful's platform that has to do with me and me only, like it's about me. I'm the subject or the center of it. No. You know, because that's his platform, so it's about him and what he was doing on there, what he got going on there. So, in the few times that I've went live on there, is to, you know, bring his YouTube community together on his platform again. You know, like when we did a few music battles on there, the few times that we did, or, you know, if I went live on there to honor him and let people, you know, whenever I have went live on there, it would just be to allow people to join on there and give a testimony about Sinful or something like that. But if you notice, I don't put any of my content on Sinful's platform, or I never go live to talk about myself on Sinful's platform. If you're going to have control of somebody's platform that was legendary, that ain't here no more, leave it about them and what they were doing and what they had going on. Don't make none of it about yourself. This lame ass nigga putting weak ass I don't even know what to say or call that shit, man. It's like, nigga, why you putting your, like, nigga, you ugly as hell. Don't nobody want to look at your ugly ass. You built like wet bread. You know what I mean? You be talking tough and like, but you built like wet bread. You look soggy as a motherfucker. You ain't fly. You ain't smart. You don't be popping no game. Like, don't nobody want to see you. You know, that's too real for TV. Don't nobody want to see you on that platform. Leave that shit alone. It's just so disgraceful what that motherfucker over there doing, man. Like, I wish that I could get a hold of that platform because I know what to do with that motherfucker. If I could get a hold of not just the platform, but all of his content, all the Too Real for TVs and all that shit, man, and all the other documentaries and interviews and shit, if I was able to get a hold of all that shit, man, I know what to do with that shit. You know, he has a wealth of content over there that's just like, nigga, what are you doing? How you got control of that and got access to that and you ain't doing what you supposed to be doing with that shit, man? Like, man, Maroy got some shit over there. Man, what the fuck are you doing? Shit crazy, man. Shit, that's, man, that shit burns me up, man. Because I know what could be being done with Maroy's shit, man. It's like, I don't know if Maroy had kids or anything like that. I'm not sure. But I'm sure he got some kind of loved ones that he left behind, man, that platform could be beneficial to if the right things was being done with it, man. And, yeah, I know what to do with that motherfucker, man. Like, I ain't even gonna share no thoughts as to what I would do to make that shit pop right now. But I know how to make that shit pop. You know what I mean? Like, shit is, man. I hate what's going on with that shit. This nigga putting his dusty, he going live and putting live streams on there and shit. It's like, don't nobody want to see you, nigga. Like, go to your own shit. Go to your own channel with that shit, man. Leave Maroy shit alone. Leave his shit alone. He deleted all the, see, I ain't even looked at it. Only thing I looked at recently is because everybody was telling me when he was talking about me, so I just went over there and watched that shit because everybody was sending it to me and telling me about it and commenting to me about it and all that shit. So I finally went and looked at it because so many motherfuckers was, man, he over there talking about you, Freeze. Which, so what? That shit probably got 50 views. You know what I mean? But that's the only thing I've seen. So I haven't really looked at the channel. And now y'all telling me that he deleted all the interviews. I hope he didn't actually delete them. I hope he just put them on private or unlisted or something. I hope he didn't actually delete those interviews from that channel, man, because it's like, why would you do that? He deleted the most important videos, live videos. Yeah, that shit is disappointing. He just posted a letter against Bishop Don Juan or some shit. CIA, you know, I can't even support that shit, man. I think Maroy's wife let him take it over. And, I didn't want to go into that, but, that's the only thing I could think of because that's the last individual I knew that had control of it. And she wasn't doing the right things with that motherfucker neither, but yeah, that shit crazy, man. That shit crazy, man. Suppose the Prince says, Freeze, side note, P. Me and Proper gonna have the music battle on my channel next week. You're all welcome to be a witness. LA versus Memphis. Pimp music. Man. See, man, that's cool, but it's just like, man, I just hate the YouTube won't let a motherfucker be great, man, when it comes to that. That's the shit that I don't like, man. YouTube just be on bullshit when it comes to that. But yeah, that's cool, though. Shit, I'll check it out for sure. Ebook said, I'm just seeing it. It's a formal complaint against G-Gov and Bishop for the lack of support. Man, who the fuck gonna support your man? I ain't even gonna talk about that nigga no more, man. I'm feeling real pimpish as always, man. And that dusty ass nigga there, man, he just like, he take a pimp out his zone, man. He just make a pimp feel rougher. Just talking about a dusty ass nigga like that just make me feel unpimpish, man. Bullshit ass nigga, man. But damn, man, it don't even seem like we've been live 3.5 hours, but we have. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up in just a second, man. If you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, please do so before we get up out of here. Just make sure everything is good. Okay. Right, didn't even know Too Real for TV was still active, but I see it's been hijacked. Yeah, his channel ain't went nowhere, just nothing has been being done with it for years. And see, old girl, man, she just ain't tapped in, so she don't understand, man. Like, bitch, why you let that nigga get a hold of that shit, man? Like, god damn. You could have reached out to me. I know what to do with that motherfucker. I know how to get that motherfucker popping. I know how to get Too Real for TV popping. That channel right there, with all the content Maroy them did, man. Man. Maroy got some classics, man. Like, it's a lot that can be done with that. And I know what to do with that shit. But yeah, man, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing on up. Get on up out of here, man. As always, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and tapping in with a pimp. I appreciate you for sharing this video. I appreciate you for all the comments, questions, input, jokes, feedback, all that good stuff. I appreciate you for subscribing. I appreciate you for hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate all the super chats, the cash apps, the PayPals. I appreciate your support in every which way that you comes with it, man. Y'all already know who it is and what it is. Freeze is it. If you out in traffic moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. And of course, as always, long live the incomparable Sinful to P. We out.